tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Thirsty Thursday. What the hell is that? What the hell is Thirsty Thursday? I've never heard of that before. Bro, there hasn't been shit as far as games. I'm sorry, but this, like, Avatar fighter game doesn't look good at all to me. It does not look good even remotely. Frontier Legends official announcement trailer? What is this? This looks like it might be kind of good. What is this?
This is the edge of the world. A place where men carve their names in dust and blood. Where every sunrise promise.
I don't want no damn copy strikes, man. No, don't, well, not strike, but copyright. I don't want any copyright. No, thank you. This damn music.
The untamed wilderness.
So what is this supposed to be, like Red Dead Redemption? Oh, it's a song. That's funny. It literally just called Thirsty Thursday. All right. Bro, why would you play this game? Why wouldn't you just play Red Dead Redemption? I'm not trying to be a dick about this, but you could play this, or you could just play Red Dead Redemption. It's basically the same thing. Oh, that's right. Poppy's Playtime 5 just released, didn't it? It's like part 5. Never did get around to playing this.
They're not wrong. They're wrong side out. Cuddly, adorable, but not quite what they seem.
What a surprise!
Unstuff that grin and find that wrong side just within. The wrong side animals.
I want to marry Doodlebone! Or adventure with Bindle Boogie! You can even make your own!
The wrong side animals. Available now from your pals at Playtime.
Jeez, that sounds so squishy. Ugh. It's PC only game. It's not on console. It's a horror game, if you're wondering. It's a horror puzzle game, I guess. More like it. What is this?
Ladies and gentlemen, our partners, спасибо for your time. You did not come here for story.
This looks like shit.
You came for... It with human nature. We study it. This is the part you invested in. Pain is not our goal. Pain is instrument.
Another horror game, bro. What's with all these horror games? That and the 2D games that are coming out now. There's so many of them. It's like we run out of places to... What the fuck is that? Oh, it's the Mario TV. I mean, the movie, right? That's the new movie. Everrail is that weird, like, train thing. Oh, there isn't shit. I want another, like, I want another game like that. The one with the dragon and the robot. I want something like that, man. I want more games like that. So I've been hearing good things about this Knight of the Seven Kingdoms game. Like, really good things. A lot of really good things. It's supposed to be off of Game of Thrones.
Show, then here's a crazy idea for you. Start out with a likable, good-natured protagonist who comes from humble origins and send him on a journey into the wider world for the first time. Along the way, he meets friends and enemies, encounters challenges and setbacks, and has to make some tough decisions that give the audience a better insight into who he is. But with a little help from his friends and some good old-fashioned grit and determination, he manages to stay true to his principles and wins through to the end, becoming a stronger and wiser man as a result. Like I say, it's a crazy idea in the postmodern Hollywood landscape where heroism, bravery, masculine determination, and optimism seem to have been outlawed, but holy fuck, is it working for a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms? Probably the best show on TV right now, and fast becoming my favourite.
You know, that actually sounds like a good backdrop story for this. Like, the idea behind that sounds like an actual game. Big surprise if you do the same formula that's worked for 20 or 30 or 40 years, you pull in money. Why change the formula? Just keep it the same. Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Come on.
Show in the Game of
It's
Thrones
so
universe.
stupid.
No way! Yes way!
I was going to wait until the season finale next week to deliver my final verdict on this one, but unless the main character suddenly starts eating babies, I'm pretty confident in saying that A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is fucking excellent. Why? Well, it's not because of the epic scale or the record-breaking budget, the sprawling cast of characters, or the mind-blowing special effects.
It's the writing. Duh. It's the writing, man. We're back, boys. We're back. Enough of these we live in a time now where the political atmosphere is shifting so much that they try to censor, abuse, antagonize, and hate all of us. They killed Kirk. They did it to us. They tried to censor masculinity. They wanted to put us in a box and try to keep us there. And people have been scared to say anything because of the harassment. But slowly but surely, behind closed doors, where no one can harass them, things have been changing. And you know what? It's about goddamn time.
Doesn't have any of those things. It's a smaller, more modest kind of show that knows exactly what it is, that has no aspirations to be anything bigger or grander, and instead just sets out to do the best it can with what it has. It's one of those wonderful examples of resource constraints actually working in a production's favour, forcing the showrunners to rely less on scale and spectacle, and more on good writing and characters. Because guess what? It doesn't need anything else. When people are invested in your story, they'll forgive all manner of technical shortcomings. I mean, have you seen the shit we used to watch in the 90s and 2000s?
Bro, what is that?
Trust me, we weren't there for the special effects. But if not, then no amount of shallow visual spectacle's gonna change that. Anyway, before I plunge any deeper into my analysis, allow me to furnish you with a plot summary. The story centres around Sir Duncan the Tall, a man who will one day go on to become a legendary figure in Game of Thrones lore.
Sir Duncan the Tall. 4 pages for Sir Duncan. He must have been quite a man.
So they say.
But when we first meet him, he's nothing but a lowly squire to an obscure hedge knight who's just passed away. After burying the old man and taking up his sword, Dunk decides to enter a local jousting tournament with the vague goal of winning some respect as a knight and maybe even joining the Kingsguard someday. A modest quest for a modest man, but straight away you absolutely want him to succeed, partly because of the sharp writing that immediately fleshes him out as a simple but decent man, not especially smart or cunning, but with a good heart and a desire to become more than he is, and partly because of a great performance from lead actor Peter Claffey, who just radiates likability. Now, this mission isn't as
He's
easy
got
as
that
it sounds,
charisma, man. He's got that look. Bro's a heartthrob.
because his former
They really set this up for success. Yo, W Game of Thrones. You know, it's kind of sad that the base TV show was so bad that people don't want to admit that it was bad. But at least they're trying to make a comeback on it. You know what I'm saying?
Master wasn't exactly a rock star as far as knights go. None of the noblemen that he approaches have ever heard of the guy, and if Dunk can't prove his lineage, then he can't enter the tournament. While he searches for a solution, he also strikes up a friendship with a mysterious young boy with a shaved head, who identifies himself only as Egg, because his head looks like a fucking egg, I guess, and offers to be Dunk's squire. As it turns out though, help arrives from the most unlikely of places in the form of Prince Baelor Targaryen, a conscientious man who makes a point of remembering even the most obscure hedge knights that served under him. He vouches for Dunk, allowing him to enter the tournament. Great stuff. Unfortunately, it all goes a bit wrong when Dunk gets into a fight with Baelor's nephew Aeron to defend the honour of a young woman. Aeron's pissed with him and demands trial by combat, but with a twist. Instead of a one-on-one fight, it'll be Dunk and 6 other men against 7 chosen by Aeron. But what'll happen in this medieval royal rumble? Who will live and who will die? And why do I have a sudden craving for a bacon and egg sandwich? You know, it's been kind of fascinating watching the change.
Oh, I can't even think of the last time I had a bacon and egg sandwich. Damn, bro, he's onto something there. Hold on, wait a minute. It's been a minute.
Attitude towards this show over the past several weeks. When it was first announced, I don't think many people were exactly burning with anticipation for it. Game of Thrones had ended on a bum note that soured millions of people on Westeros forever, and House of the Dragon, for all its capable writing and strong cast, had never managed to recapture the same magic. That show was a lot of things, but fun wasn't one of them. And yeah, almost from the first episode, people seemed to perk right up and opinions started to change, and that sentiment's only gotten stronger with each episode. There was this weird groundswell of positivity and, for lack of a better word, relief. Relief that we weren't being subjected to yet another season of grim dark misery porn with a reluctant fantasy veneer. Relief that for once we had a genuinely brave, likeable, decent protagonist to cheer for who wasn't harbouring some dark secret or Machiavellian scheme to destroy.
I think that the mindset, if you make it, they will come, is slowly but surely dying. We've had to suffer like this for at least 7 years of if you make it, they will come. And now people's trust with these movies and these games are so eroded that you have to gain their trust back.
Everything and everyone around him. Relief that we finally got a sincere story that explored concepts like honour and heroism without trying to mock or belittle them as outdated relics from a different age. Relief that we even get to see men in full battle armour beating the absolute shit out of each other without the addition of some fucking ridiculous 100-pound girl boss pretending like she can fight just as well as the guys.
Right?
Girls get it done.
After a decade of Hollywood's self-imposed malaise, depressing moral ambiguity that inspires absolutely nobody, and tedious culture war pandering that pisses off everybody, this show honestly feels like the breath of fresh air that everyone was desperately ready for. Even now, watching it, I kept asking myself, how did they get away with this in 2026? How did they avoid all the tedious tropes that we've been told were essential for a modern audience? I don't know, man. Either this show was low profile enough and lucky enough to fly under the radar, or, and this is a much more exciting possibility, maybe Hollywood are finally realizing what their audience wants, and more importantly, what they don't want.
They know what they knew what modern audiences have always wanted. What happened was that they got infected by these disgusting Karen parasites, and now that they're literally having to chop off whole limbs to bring their studios back together, this HR culture that's killing all these games and all these movies, finally we're getting somewhere. We're finally moving up in the world again, back to our original starting point, I guess.
Here's the thing. We are fucking done with the bleak nihilism where everybody is bad and nothing's worth fighting for. We're done with the morally grey protagonists that nobody really likes. We're done with the ironic mockery and the sneering postmodern criticisms of classic heroic archetypes. We're done with the girl bosses and the diversity quotas and the alphabet soup of sexualities that have to get crammed into absolutely everything.
Yep.
We don't need any of it. What we really need is a bit of optimism again, a bit of good old-fashioned adventure, a window into another world that's actually exciting and interesting to explore. And that's exactly what A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms delivers, from a perspective that you don't often see. We're used to seeing Westeros from the point of view of kings and generals and epic power struggles in palaces and fortresses. It's kind of rare to view that world through the lens of the common man, through small villages and farms and minor tournaments in far-flung provincial outposts. There's a charming little slice of life aspect to the show that I think it's important not to overlook. Narratively, it never dawdles, but it also takes just enough time to let us tune into the world, to get a feel for it and the people who live there. And because it's not weighed down by 100 different plot threads and characters that it has to keep jumping between, for once it allows us to just settle in and bond with our leads. Speaking of which, Dunk and Egg make for a great pairing, contradictory but also complementary. One's physically powerful but naive and inexperienced with the wider world, the other is small and puny but deceptively wise and way more connected than he lets on. The two actors have got superb chemistry together, and some of the most enjoyable scenes of the show are just the two of them hanging out, talking together, sharing a meal. It's simple stuff, but you'd be amazed how effective simple things like this can be when you've been starved of them for years. Honestly, I just can't say enough good things about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It's a show
No, low-key, I'm gonna have to watch this show. This looks really good, actually. The way he's depicting it sounds really, like, good.
Fun and adventure back into fantasy again that actually makes me feel good when I'm watching it instead of despairing over the human condition, and it's one of the few shows on TV that I actually look forward to each week.
Yeah, that's how I feel with Fallout. Oh, shit! I think I missed the last episode of Fallout. I'm gonna have to watch that. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I've been feeling with Fallout, man. Ever since I started watching Fallout, the TV series. Oh my god, dude, I love that show.
Lucky fluke that somehow made it through the net, or does it signal the start of a major realignment in Hollywood's creative output? I don't know yet, but for now, I'll fucking take it. Anyway, that's all I've got for today.
Yo, W, the critical drinker. Hell yeah. Okay, so if you don't know, this guy's been getting his ass beat by a few people. A few people.
Same guy getting slapped out again. Larry Wheels slapped Dean the Great. Dean repeatedly complimented his wife, asked her for a hug, and continued to disrespect him. Is this how it happened?
From the restaurant.
Hey, will she agree with me?
So this was during, I believe this was during a live stream.
No, don't do. Oh, whoa.
He was like, so this is the husband. Like these two are married, right? These two are married. That's his wife, and this dude is like harassing her and like saying he was gonna SA her and stuff, right? In front of him, the dude's a goddamn wall. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was a fighter too. And I think this guy's a fighter as well, but like, bro, look at the difference in the size.
Honestly, W Rampage.
So that's Rampage.
I'm sorry.
Between the two of you.
See, we agree.
No, real talk.
She's the only one that agree with me.
Hey, no, don't disrespect. Don't disrespect the king like that. Nuclear. He a king. He a king. You know why?
She a queen, though.
Listen. Whoa. I know we streaming. Got a show.
Man, look at her. Look at him reaching for her like that, dude. That's creepy shit. That's creepy shit, bro. That is creepy.
She a queen, though.
Hey, honey, or liquor. Nuclear. I know we streaming, but honey is.
I'm good. She a queen.
No. Chill out. She married. Nuclear. Listen, we got two beautiful girls on. Come on, let's go. Nuclear. Hey, he's
fuck this.
Nuclear.
Come on. I think I'm finna be respectful. Fuck her. His wife up for grabs.
Hey, he's been mad disrespectful.
Bro, you saying that right next to the dude. You saying that he's standing right next to you. He really saying that next to the guy. What did you think was gonna happen? You should just be thankful you got slapped, bro. That guy can fuck you up. That is a huge dude. Look at the fucking size of that guy.
This.
We doing with the hands.
This.
You ready for them 100 gifted? 200 gifted?
Listen.
You ready for them 200 gifted?
Oh! Oh! The sound! Bro! You know his shit's ringing. Bro, he didn't even swing that hard! There was no momentum in that slap! Look at his fucking posture! It doesn't change! Bam! Bro! He cupped his hand too! He cupped it, bro! He cupped it!
Deserved. Totally fucking deserved.
His wife up for grabs. Hey, he's been mad disrespectful.
That's crazy to say. You are lucky you only got slapped.
I know we
see. Look at it. Look at his hand. Look at his hand. What's he getting his hand there next to her? Like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He said he was gonna shoot Larry after this. He's gonna shoot Larry. This is the same guy. I think it was on the same day getting slapped out again. This isn't just.
Why does this guy keep picking these fights with these giants? Like, goddamn.
Baldy, you know, that's at a party. Former UFC fighter.
Nice to meet you, bro. You do know who I am. I don't know why you lying. Don't act like you don't know me.
I don't know you.
You definitely know me.
Nice to meet you, though.
Yeah, I just don't be lying because girls around and shit. You definitely know me, bro.
Bro.
Not even on some disrespectful shit, but.
I don't like your attitude. Don't like your
I don't like you at all, though.
Okay.
Yeah, straight up.
Are you the guy that got slapped on video?
I did, but I'll slap the shit out you, though.
Oh, you were?
You just threatened him, bro. You just threatened him. You know that he can technically defend himself now, right? You just threatened him. See, this is the difference between threatening somebody and freedom of speech. When you walk up to somebody and threaten them, they have every right to beat your ass now. You do realize that, right? Whenever you threaten somebody, it's like if you have a gun in your hand and you walk up to a police officer and they shoot and kill you. They're gonna act on what they're seeing. Like, well, yeah, you're dead because I didn't want to take the risk of being shot myself. I defended myself. Why else would you have a gun in your hand? Like, come on.
I'm gonna show you the inside of...
Are you the guy who got slapped on video?
I'll make you another clip.
You know what's sad is from what I've seen, this guy was crying after. He was like sitting in like the corner somewhere just crying.
Look at his face.
Dude, I'd be crying too. The way he cupped his hand, bro. I bet that shit stung.
Make another clip over this? Why would you say this?
Seriously?
Oh, do that.
Oh! Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? Damn! Bam!
Bro, this guy actually thought that he was gonna talk shit to Kratos. Why is
What
that?
happened? Tell me.
What did you say to him?
I'm gonna get smoked.
He's
Bro.
gonna get smoked. So now he's gonna shoot two people. He's just gonna shoot everybody now.
Morning, how's it going?
Tearing up. How he fears after getting
How's it
slapped
going,
by
Alex?
Larry Wheels.
Alex?
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't been sleeping. I ain't been eating ever since this slapped me, bruh. My jaw hurt. I've been on the phone with lawyers, attorneys. I'm finna sue this big gorilla ass. My jaw hurt. I can't sleep on my face.
Yeah? Go to the doctor.
Can't sleep.
I think he did too. I think he needed that facial readjustment. See, look, he's crying like a bitch. How do you walk up to somebody, threaten them, and then you get your ass fucking, you get elbowed in the face, and now you're sitting off to the side crying like a bitch. Like, what the fuck, dude?
On my side, this shit traumatic, and y'all
Yeah.
don't
It's
understand.
just
Y'all-
traumatic, bro. You just walked up to somebody and threatened them. What'd you think was gonna happen? You walked up to Kratos and decided you wanted to throw down and got your ass handed to you.
This shit funny, y'all.
I do. I think it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. You're threatening people. You're invading this one's personal space. Yeah.
Bro is lucky he walked away from this. Man, that dude could probably pick you up and crack you in half like a damn like like a stick. That's a giant.
Threatening people. You're invading this one's personal space.
Yeah. Can't eat. I ain't ate shit. I've been drinking smoothies out of straw.
Yep.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have done it. Can't always run away from the consequences of your actions, bro. They're gonna catch up to you eventually.
That's deserved. You were the aggressor. You invaded that woman's space, saying that you were going to sexually assault her.
Yeah, he said that too. He said that to her. Like he looked at her and said it, Then he got his fucking shit slapped. That's what happens whenever you keep threatening people, man.
Even beyond that.
Are you the guy that got slapped on video?
I did, but I'll slap the shit out you though.
Oh, you were?
So he's going and making threats again. And you can tell because he probably knows that if somebody makes a threat at you, the chances are that if you hit them, nothing's gonna happen. And he says, oh, wait, really? Wait, you said you hit me? Wait, this guy just flagged for PB? Boom, bitch.
Whoa.
What, he's still trying to fight him?
He's smiling. He is.
Oh, so this is the other angle. Whenever he hit him, he smiled. So after he had elbowed him in the face, he was smiling, dude. You know he wanted to do that. All he was looking for was an excuse. He's smiling, bro. Look at those pearly whites.
Walking away from this guy, and this dude is just going ape shit on him. Oh, man. Man. And this guy just Kratos is walking away, laughing.
Bro fucked around and he definitely found out. That shit looked crazy, bro. Holy crap. And apparently he's a fighter. I don't... He must be good or something, I don't know. Because if you're like going up to these fucking massive people and you're talking shit, like... You gotta have something, right? Obviously not much skill, but... enough.
Gardner, he is...
Why are their audios so low? Their audio is always so low.
A former advisor to Margaret Thatcher. Good morning to you, Niall.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to see you.
Great
Dude,
to see you.
so what's going on with this is Prince Andrews is facing charges from Britain right now because of the Epstein stuff.
What's
Why can't we do that in America?
Reaction there in the UK, and what is your reaction being so, close to the royal family?
Yeah, well, firstly, thanks for having me on the show. And what an earthquake event, actually. Firstly, I think that it's right that Andrew face accountability. And my understanding is the royal family, of course, has fully cooperated here with the police inquiry. Andrew has become increasingly isolated from the royal family, and he's been practically disowned by the king because of his conduct over the Epstein scandal. I think something like this is incredibly unusual. It's unprecedented, I think, in modern times in the UK. So you cannot underestimate...
Think about it. There is a chance that a prince will be locked up in jail in Britain because of the Epstein files. Think about that. Let that sink in. In modern day, times, this is unprecedented. This is literally peak. This is crazy.
The significance of
and they said that they've only released half the files. They've only released 3.5 million documents. They said that the other half of those Epstein files will completely destroy whole countries. And I said that too. I said that before they even started releasing. I was like, these files are going to have some crazy stuff in them that are going to destroy whole countries, that are going to make people rise up against their own governments.
Happening. In my
That's
view,
why they're terrified to release these documents.
There'll be overwhelming public support in the UK for Prince Andrew to be held to account. His association with Epstein was an absolute disgrace, a scandal. He has negatively impacted, of course, the image of the royal family, and he should fully be held to account and face all charges that may be laid against him. And I think this latest action will have very strong public support. And also, the reality is that the British monarchy has really washed its hands of Prince Andrew, who has been, I think, a huge embarrassment to the royal family, to Great Britain. And he should, face whatever charges he faces there, and I think that justice must be served.
I agree with that. That should be happening everywhere too. Every country needs to find these people that were in those files and did wrong in them, and they need to unredact those files, and they need to release the full set. That's what they need to do.
And that includes royalty as well.
So now, is that typical? You know, forgive my ignorance, but I guess some of us are always under impression, at least in the United States, that royals were untouchable. Is it because his titles were removed now that opens the door for him to be?
I don't know if the dominoes will start dropping. It's interesting to me that they claimed that they had released all the documents, yet they still haven't. They're still hoarding the other half of these files. Like, bro, like the first half of these files exposed Pizzagate and like people eating babies. Like, we need to release the rest of these files because from what I've heard, the other half of these files are even worse.
In this way?
Well, I mean, the reality is that no one is untouchable in terms of the law in the UK.
Well, at least not in Britain. Maybe I should move to Britain. At least they hold their people accountable there.
That includes members of the royal family. I think
I guarantee the whole reason why they're dragging their feet with the Epstein files is because Trump's the president. I guarantee you, they're trying to avoid as much condemning stuff on Trump as possible. That's why they need to let Trump just like fuck off, you know, step out of power, let Vance take it so that way they can do this the right way with those files, man. Seriously. Need to get all these people that are in politics that are implicated in the files out of politics so these files can be released the way they need to be released. Not saying that he can't get his seat back, but and not saying that he goes to jail, just saying he needs to step out, let Vance run it for a little bit so they can get these files out and and show people that if there is something on there, then he can get charged. If not, then he can retake retake the presidency or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Andrew has
been drive safe.
Increasingly sidelined from the royal family. Meant that he was increasingly likely, I think, to face some kind of criminal charge. That there's no doubt about it, and we're seeing that happening now. In my view, the king moved at a very early stage, actually, to distance himself from Andrew, actually, and Andrew was in many respects. I mean, I'm practically, thrown out of the royal family in many respects over this. Actually, he's been completely sidelined.
Oh, come on, man! You can't give Couchfucker that much of a bad rep. Look, horse semen drinker has the right to run as the president if he needs to. It's just that it would make things a lot easier and probably go way smoother if we had somebody in power that was spending more time fucking the couch than trying to redact the files. Okay.
And so this, this latest development, I think, makes a lot of sense with him now being, potentially charged by the British police, because no one should actually be above the law. No one should bring the royal.
What kind of couch you think he's? I'm gonna stop. Let me stop, bro. Let me stop.
Andrew definitely has done here.
Of course, Jeffrey Epstein, the carnage in the UK politically is continuing. The chief of staff.
Oh, let me stop, man.
The ambassador to the
U.S. Dude, I'm going to hell.
Epstein files. And now we understand that Andrew, according to the New York Post, was arrested for suspicion of misconduct in public office. He allegedly forwarded trade documents to Jeffrey Epstein. So they didn't talk about that I could see. Teenage travel.
You would think that maybe it's a family couch with big cushions, or maybe it's a leather couch. It could be like one of those granny couches that have like the flower like embroidery on it. Like what kind of couch is it? They never said what kind of couch it was.
I'm not saying that's okay.
What color? Like, is it blue or brown or white or, I don't know, neon, pink? What color?
They found out that he
You want like an extra feminine looking couch? Like,
maybe something in the 1,000,000+ pages that have been
Man, opened up Pandora's box with that comment, man. Let me tell you.
He was giving away national secrets to a business.
Like, is it like the Fox News couch? Does it have to be circular? Like, what is the premise? If I ever sat down with JD Vance, I would totally ask him what started that, straight up. That would be the first question I'd ask him. 100%.
Jeffrey Epstein.
These are incredibly serious charges, and if he is prosecuted, found guilty, Prince Andrew could serve many years in prison. Actually,
the way it should be. How is it that there's a chance that the former Prince Andrew is going to be in prison even if he's wealthy, but we can't seem to lock up a few freaking politicians in our own government? It's crazy.
These are incredibly serious charges.
There wasn't even anything that like seriously implicated that he had done anything. He was just standing over or he was hovering over a victim. And it is like, and you want to tell me that as an American person that those files don't have any grounds for investigation? Hello? What do you mean?
Facing and
who investigated
I
this?
do believe that
a simpleton
scandal, and you've thrown, of course, Lord Manderson's ties to Jeffrey Epstein. After all, Manderson was the U.S. ambassador to Washington.
Put eyeliners.
Keir Starmer, the prime minister.
Yo, so low key, he must be wearing eyeliner, right? There's no way. It does make his eyes look nice, sure, okay. But why, man? It's so random.
Big enough to bring down the British government. And there are growing calls for Keir Starmer to resign. And over his handling of
because his chief of staff recommended the ambassador for the position. So,
yes.
You have to keep in mind that all these rich people, like, they want you to stay poor so they don't have everybody going around buying everything because money's going to be worthless. Like, the minute that people realize that they own the power of their country, it's over for them. Like, it is. Straight up. That's why it's so bad whenever you have everybody at a job get up and walk out as a protest. Like, company can't function that way. That's why they're trying so hard to make robots that'll do the exact same job and still somehow manage to take your money. Like where I'm going with this is that if you, I don't believe in a revolution or anything like that. I don't think that that's what needs to happen. If they protested outside the Capitol every day and the crowd kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger without any violence, staying on the sidewalk, staying in places that aren't on the damn roadway the way it should be, and not doing anything crazy, and they all got together and they sang and they protested, eventually the government would cave. It would. Especially if there's so many people there that there's no one working any jobs. They would cave immediately. They would have to capitulate. And I think that's honestly what would happen in Britain and in America if things got really crazy. Like, it's getting to a point, we're at a cusp right now where people are making just enough money to skirt by paycheck to paycheck. But I feel like if it keeps getting worse, people are going to have this obvious reason to ask themselves, why am I going to work if I'm working myself to death and I'm not even able to afford rent or the cost of living? Why am I going to work? And it's already started to happen with jobs like Walmart or fast food. But now it's bleeding into blue collar, which is a bad thing. And it's just, and then that with the Epstein files and all the crazy shit that's been going on, like,
I'm gone, but to protect the prime minister,
it don't look good. It doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, you'll see
things look very bleak.
Prime Minister's top aides going one by one. They're all, stepping down, resigning. It's only a matter of time before I think Keir Starmer himself is forced to resign over this. And he's clinging on by his fingernails, literally, as prime minister right now. And I expect you're going to see the collapse, actually, of Keir Starmer's of government over this entire scandal. It's a huge can of worms. And also, I'd point out, Brian, that Lord Manderson.
And you know what's crazy? If they put this man in jail, they are going to be setting in a domino effect that will put the rest of these people in jail where they belong. Because every other country that's going to have one of these people, I guarantee they're going to be in their government. And they're gonna be saying, well, we can't put this person in jail, and then they're gonna be like, why not? Britain did it. What makes us different? If Britain puts this man in jail, it is going to be a domino effect on the rest of the world.
Actually headed Keir Starmer's poisonous Chagos surrender deal campaign.
They need to push this harder than they've ever pushed anything in their entire lives to put this man in jail.
President Trump strongly attacked yesterday this idea of giving away the Chagos Islands, the home of Diego Garcia, to Mauritius, which is a Chinese puppet regime in the Indian Ocean. I mean, this is, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is
because we had a base there.
After scandal.
We had a base there, and now he reversed that decision.
U.S. military base. Yeah, the whole.
And you know what's sad? You're right. You're absolutely right. They would live better in jail. I can't speak for Britain's prison system, but here in America, the unfortunate fact of the matter is that we've got a bunch of pushovers running everything. We do. But I wonder how that will change when you don't have the Epstein files being hovered over people's heads in politics. Everyone that's implemented in the Epstein files that is currently holding a Senate seat is a judge in our politics, is a countryman that works in politics, or the president needs to be removed from their positions and be put under a thorough investigation because those files have compromised their positions. Who knows how many of those files are being used to blackmail our own people that are in politics, mayors, governors, judges, to keep them in line. Our entire government's compromised because of those files. And other people's governments around the world are compromised because of those files. That's the crazy part.
Is absolutely insane, and it's a knife in the back for the United States. And President Trump rightly stepped in yesterday, condemning what Keir Starmer was doing. This Keir Starmer government needs to go. It's as simple as that. It's an absolute disaster. It's a far.
Did you hear that? I said before they were going to release these files, I said, this is going to lead to the collapse of several governments. Did you hear what he just said?
And President Trump rightly stepped in yesterday, condemning what Keir Starmer was doing. This Keir Starmer government needs to go.
That's how it starts. And then you end up like with something that's going on in Iran right now. That's how it starts.
Simple as that. It's an absolute disaster. It's a far left-wing socialist government that is bringing Britain into disrepute and destroying the special relationship with the United States. And the sooner Keir Starmer goes, the better, in my view.
Do you think any of
And
this
that's
is
exactly what the mindset should be with any of these politicians implemented in those files. The sooner they get out of office, the better.
retribution because of what he's accused of, what Virginia...
And what makes it worse is that for somebody like Trump, who's advocating for a lot of what the American people voted for, it makes their cause look bad. So when you have a flawed character running a what is effectively a good narrative, but come to find out they either were or are a piece of shit, in my opinion. If you're in the Epstein files and you did any of that nasty shit, you're just a piece of shit. And I think that we should bring back public executions. That's just I mean, I can think of worse things that I'd like to see, but I can't say them. I don't need another vacation, but still, like, that's what we need to do. If you're in these files and you actually did any of this stuff, you need to go. You got to go.
Accusing him of.
You
She
got
ended
to
up
go.
committing suicide. And accused Prince Andrew at the time he was Prince Andrew. She says they met when she was 17 years old, and she accused him back in 2001 of raping her. And Prince Andrew ended up settling, so that made him, in many people's eyes, look guilty. He said he was innocent. He says he's never met her before.
Well, if you're innocent, then why did you settle? Why wouldn't you just take it to court if you knew you were going to win?
That was released of the two of them when she was a young girl. Years later, she commits suicide, and it appears that that has now been dropped, and now he's being arrested, allegedly today, for sharing secret information with Jeffrey Epstein. But it's all connected by one person, and that's Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
That man had a spiderweb network, bro. Bro was like an infection.
as you point out, I mean, Prince Andrew has faced so many serious charges actually in relation to the Epstein scandal, and this scandal is so big that I think it's going to bring down the British government entirely. And unfortunately, I have.
Man, I need to get like a chalkboard behind me, and every time I start covering the government's falling, I should just go over and make a tally mark. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said, bro.
Say this.
I didn't say it specifically for Britain, but I was like, this is going to ruin a lot of governments.
Took early action against his own brother to really exclude him, of course, from any official role in the royal family. And so early action was taken. Full credit to the king, actually having zero tolerance for the horrible, appalling behavior.
Yeah, we should. We should have a zero tolerance for this. The fact that these people did what they did, and they weren't condemned, they never came forward, they never said anything, they never apologized. You're not sorry for what you did, you're sorry you got caught, motherfucker. And they need to bring down the full law onto these people. They need to crack down on this in a way never seen before in humanity. Oh, damn. Do we have more about the Iran stuff?
Reinforcing its peace.
Here we go. This was an hour ago.
And here at home today, the president.
This was an hour ago. There we go.
The president is hosting world leaders for the first Board of Peace meeting focusing on the future of Gaza.
Meanwhile, the U.S. military is ramping up its presence in the Middle East as the administration pushes Iran to abandon its rogue nuclear program. Lucas Tomlinson joins us from Washington with the very latest. Hi, Lucas.
Well, good morning.
I don't think there's going to be a way to make peace with Iran. I think that what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up taking out the administration that's running it. I do. I think that's what's going to happen.
Todd, President Trump will preside over his first ever Board of Peace meeting today in Washington, focused on the future of Gaza. One of the major questions hanging over the meeting is the disarmament of Hamas and who will provide peacekeeping forces. At the White House, there was also a question of funding the reconstruction if Hamas lays down its weapons.
And will that be sort of...
I don't even know why they're playing games with Hamas. They should just go in, round them up, and get rid of them. They should. That was part of the peace treaty, was for Hamas to lay down their weapons and straight up leave. And they haven't done it yet. This has been going on for over a month now. Been over a few months. They should just go in, round up Hamas, and get rid of them.
And for much more money.
You'll be hearing more about that tomorrow at the meeting. If you recall...
Man, they need to get rid of this lady. This lady's something
first
else.
Meeting when we were in Davos, Jared Kushner did provide a very detailed PowerPoint presentation for the vision of Gaza, the reconstruction and the humanitarian efforts, of course, providing local security on the ground. First, you must achieve security to get to prosperity, which is sort of the second part of this plan.
The Board of Peace meets in Washington as the U.S. military buildup in the Middle East continues. The USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft...
Bro, that's only the ships that you see above the surface. Holy Jesus, man. Look at that. God dang, bro. Just imagine how many subs they have over there.
Will be in the Mediterranean soon if she didn't pass through Gibraltar last night. Dozens of fighter jets are heading to the region to join naval assets, including F-22 Raptors. Recall these fifth-generation stealth fighter jets arrived in the Middle East just 4 days before Operation Midnight Hammer over the summer. And elite search and rescue assets have already arrived to rescue any downed pilots if necessary. Top national security officials met in the White House Situation Room yesterday to discuss planning. The first strikes could take place as soon as this weekend. Axios reports, quote,
Damn, oh man, it might be happening this weekend, boys.
A U.S. military operation in Iran would likely be a massive, weeks-long campaign that would look more like a full-fledged war than last month's pinpoint operation in Venezuela, sources say. Iran has said it will hold joint exercises with Russian forces in the Gulf of Oman. That puts those forces just a few hundred miles away from the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group on station in the Arabian Sea. Now, today, the Board of Peace meets. In the days ahead, guys, the potential for war with Iran exists. Carly, Todd?
Yeah, Iran and Russia can...
I think that's funny. Did you not just hear what Trump said, or what they said? Week-long war. Bro. I don't know about that. I don't think it's going to last that long. After everything that I heard from about the Venezuelan extraction, I am thoroughly confident that there's no way this would last more than a week. I would be shocked if this lasted more than a week.
Conducting these exercises together is, of course, no surprise and very.
I would be shocked if it lasted more than 5 days.
Lucas Tomlinson, live for us in Washington. Lucas, thank you. Let's bring in Fox News contributor and former CIA station chief Dan Hoffman. Dan, good morning to you. When it comes to Iran, it really does feel like the other shoe could drop at any moment when it comes to a possible.
Yeah, dude, we got lasers on our ships now. Like, what? They literally said that we have lasers on board our ships. How the hell are you going to fight a laser, man?
And to echo what Lucas was saying, Axios did report this yesterday. The Trump administration is closer to a major war in the Middle East than most Americans realize.
No, I figured this was going to happen. This needs to happen. Trump said to those protesters, he backed them. He said, we will send you help. That's what he said. And now they're all dead. We owe them that. We owe them their freedom. Especially when you back them. And I wanted Trump to back them. I wanted him to be in there doing whatever he could to take out the leaders. I still want that. You can't go around and hurt and kill all your members in your society because you don't want them to rise up against you because they're taking all these Iranians' money. They're being oppressed. They're having this religion pushed on them. They're having these like women that don't wear the hijabs the right way. They're getting like killed in prisons. Like it's terrible. What they're doing to these people is awful. They don't have enough money to live because the government takes all the money and sends it to terrorist organizations all over the world. They're trying to make nukes. They literally say the reason why they're trying to make nukes is to hurt Americans. No, bro, we got to get rid of that. We got to get rid of this government. We have to. There's not a day, an age where them having nuclear weapons is ever going to be a good thing. No, man.
And it could begin very soon. And they go on to say with Trump, anything can happen, but all signs point to him pulling the trigger if talks fail. Do you agree with that assessment that we are close to a major war in the Middle East?
Yeah, I think we've made it clear that we have the military assets in the region to strike Iran if necessary. And the key thing is that we're...
No, you're right. It has. Like, the Iran people, dude, they have been oppressed. They've been... Like, this has been going on forever, it feels like. They deserve to have freedom. The people that died in that protest, those protests, deserve to know that their family members are going to be free and not oppressed like this. Any country deserves that.
Iran, very bluntly, that if Iran doesn't come to the negotiating table in good faith to negotiate, then we are prepared to launch kinetic strikes. I think that's the purpose of all of this public discussion. And if the Iranians are wondering whether President Trump will follow through, they can just rewind the tape and look back to the strike against IRGC Commander Soleimani or the strikes against Iran's nuclear program, their facilities back in June of 2025.
Yeah, that's a great point. Didn't happen too long ago. And you mentioned kinetic strikes. Here's Senator Ted Cruz yesterday talking to Sean Hannity about what possible military action
you know what's even crazier is the people that are trying to defend Iran. As I haven't had too many people get down in the comments and say anything too crazy that are trying to say the Iranians got what they deserved, which is like, but there are people, I've seen them, where people are trying to defend the government in Iran, and I'm like, are you crazy? How could you possibly defend what they've done? What they've done is terrible. It's a literal genocide over there. They need to get rid of the government that's running Iran. They need a fresh batch of people. And the thing is they protested to get that for themselves, and now they're all gone, bro. That's the sad part. They're all gone. And the only reason why they didn't do it publicly was because Trump threatened them. They just did it quietly. And it's terrible. It's terrible what's happened over there.
President Trump is not an isolationist.
Oh, man. Ain't you got a flight to, like, Cambodia or something you got to go catch? God damn.
He's also not an interventionist.
Why are you on Fox News, man? There's a whole lot of shit going on in Texas right now. Why can't you do some shit for Texas? Why are you always doing shit for other countries, man? What's the whole point of being like the representative or something of Texas and you can't do shit?
See a ground invasion of Iran. We're not going to see
Ted Cruz is good with some things, but goddamn, I wish he was better with most things.
thousands of troops on the ground. We're not going to see massive American casualties. But the president is willing to defend American national security interests.
And meanwhile, Dan, the Ayatollahs, of course, doing everything he can to drag these negotiations out. And
Oh, of
keep
course
the
they
talks
are.
ongoing, while also
The real question is why are they trying to drag these out? I don't think he wants to make peace with America. I think this man is trying to get more allies to help him, or they're trying to rally something together that the Americans aren't aware of yet. I think that's what's going on. Even if this man had no intention on keeping a peace or making peace with America, why wouldn't you make peace with America just to make them leave for a certain amount of time so you can continue your nuclear programs? They are planning a retaliatory attack on Americans. I guarantee it. Why else would you keep dragging this out? He's waiting for something.
trying to project strength himself, saying any possible military intervention would mean a long, drawn-out regional war. What are Iran's capabilities in doing such a thing right now?
Well, Iran is trying to demonstrate that they have the leverage to strike back at the United States. And they're doing that because they want to limit the scope of the negotiations. What Iran wants to do is talk only
Man, you can be the biggest, baddest fucking leader in the entire world. The minute that big black Dorito starts flying over your fucking country that's worth more than your GDP, I'd be running. I don't know, I'd be running, I'd be digging, I'd be getting anywhere that I could. I'd be getting on my hands and knees and praying to whatever God I believe in, because I knew that my shit would be cooked.
about their nuclear program. They want to retain the capability to enrich uranium, which the Trump administration is rightly against. Also, remember that
If Iran's not worried about the U.S., well, they should be. You should go and listen to the testament of the security that was supposed to be protecting the Venezuelan president Maduro. You should hear how they were being microwaved inside of their brains, and how they had hundreds of men, and the Americans only had 20.
the Trump administration, the first one, withdrew from
They should be terrified right now. You know why? Because as an American who had no idea that our ships had lasers and the ability to microwave a human being from the inside out, that's terrifying. Think about how terrifying the extraction for Maduro was. You are a security guard for Maduro. You're outside doing your normal routines. The lights go out. You see this, actually, let me do this the right way. You see this drone come in. You hear the buzzing, you see it sees you, and it flies off. And then the lights go out. And you hear people screaming and dying off in the distance like it's a fucking predator running around killing people. You hear explosions because they're blowing up all the damn military assets. And then you start feeling sick and nauseous, and you start bleeding out of your nose and throwing up blood. And then 20 people get let down, and you start shooting at them, and you just can't kill them. And then everyone's dead. And then they extract with Maduro and his wife. That's terrifying. I don't ever want to fucking go. I'm happy that I'm an American simply because I never have to deal with that. That's terrifying. That's some scary shit. Fuck that.
CPOA because it did not address Iran's ballistic missile capability or Iran's material support to proxy terrorists. There were sunset clauses for Iran's nuclear program. We need to deal with all of those things. Iran doesn't want to, and that's why I think Iran is trying to demonstrate, including with these.
That's right. People always use their words until it's too late. That's right. And Maduro found out the hard way.
Latest military drills with Russia, that they have some military leverage of their own. At the end of the day, I think our military capacity in the region is enough, certainly, to inflict great harm on Iran. But I think we've got war planners in the military with our intelligence community wargaming this out, how these strikes might result in any sorts of Iranian retaliation. I think that's what's ongoing right now in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, still have the largest ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East and probably growing by the day. But I also want to get to really quickly this Board of Peace meeting that's taking place. I mean, it is historic for a president to create this sort of global body to, rebuild a war zone. But there are still a lot of questions that remain, including Hamas demilitarization and if the next government will be successful in the region. So what can we expect really quickly today and beyond?
Probably a lot of discussion about a strategic plan. Phase 1 is over, but in Phase 2, Hamas was...
I get that a lot. USA should have Iran and Israel fight it out, not the US's fight. It is the US's fight. Iran is funding terrorists all over the world. How is it not Americans' fight? Of course it is. If they're funding terrorists, of course. And it's not even like something that our president said. It's a known fact that that's what they're doing. They've been doing it for years, generations even. Of course, it's our fight. It's every country's fight. It's not just Israel.
By all accounts, they've tried to reconstitute. So, yes, we've got some peacekeeping forces from Indonesia, reportedly roughly 8,000 at the ready, but there's still some peacemaking to be done. And how we reconstruct Gaza is another question. But I think this is a proof of concept, and we'll see where it goes today.
We sure will. Dan, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. Have a good morning.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News.
W Fox, man. W Fox. Uh-oh.
A major.
See, what did I say about what was going to happen if these radicals keep pushing? They're going to get rights taken away. It's already starting to happen.
Ending its transgender youth health program. This follows threats from the Trump administration to cut federal funding to hospitals that provide gender-affirming care to minors.
That is such a disgusting thing to hear, dude. That is so gross. I'm so happy they're doing this too, bro. Why do you gotta drag kids into this? Why do you have to drag kids into this? Like, if you're 18 and you want to do all this crazy shit, go for it. Stop dragging kids into it.
Dr. Mark Siegel, who's also a professor of medicine at NYU Langone, where this all happened, is weighing in on the move. Listen.
This change not only involves surgeries, it also involves the use of puberty blockers, and hormone therapy is going to...
You know, there's actually new stuff coming out saying that the hormone blockers and the puberty blockers are actually more harmful than these doctors are trying to lead on.
Stop, because first of all, over 10% of children then detransition, decide they made a mistake. Secondly, puberty blockers...
I'd imagine that happens quite a bit whenever you've got people trying to peer pressure you into transitioning because all you have is a mental illness and they're continuing to try and push you into this weird freaking ideology crap.
Hormones can have long-term medical effects, in my opinion, including behavioral issues, including bone issues, and fertility.
Oh, of course. Like, if you start taking these blockers when you're younger and you never go through puberty, the, lasting effects of this are going to affect the rest of your life. Of course.
Issues, we're seeing more and more issues regarding anxiety.
Joining me now is detransitioner Chloe Cole and the CEO of the Center for the American Lawyer, Mark Trammell. Thanks to the both of you for being here. Chloe, I'll begin with you. What do you make of this move by NYU Langone?
Thank you very much for having me. I think that this is an exciting trend of many hospitals. I think over 40 clinics that have chosen to either temporarily stop or permanently shut down their clinics that are perpetuating this abuse against children in their communities. And hopefully this will be followed by many more.
Yeah, we're rolling the scroll on the screen of hospitals that have followed NYU Langone's path. But Mark, I want you to read between the lines.
Oh, it absolutely is a money business. What better way to make money than to use these mentally ill parents that just want the attention and the kudo points for having a trans child? Like, what better way to make money than to abuse somebody's, mental illness, right?
On what NYU Langone did and these other hospitals.
It's disgusting, dude. I'm so happy to see this
First, I'm gonna
ending.
read the statement from the hospital.
Yo, the minute I started hearing that they were making like staff at schools were making kids undress in front of the opposing gender because they were claiming they were a different gender, they completely lost me. I was like, nope, absolutely not. If I had found that out, I would sue. Oh, dude, like I would do a lot, and I can't say what I would do. Like I said, I don't need another vacation. A lawsuit's the least of their problems.
Given the recent departure of our medical director, coupled with the current regulatory environment, we made the difficult decision to discontinue our transgender youth mental program. Are they following the science, Mark, or are you worried that they will simply reinstate the program the next time a Democrat is in the White House?
I mean, I think that's a very real concern, right? Today, they're concerned about funding. I think they're also concerned about lawsuits. And I think that's why Chloe's lawsuit is so exciting and so important. If these lawsuits are successful, we just saw a verdict out of New York in Fox Varian's case, a $2 million verdict awarded to a detransitioner. If these types of verdicts continue,
they're going to happen a lot. A lot of these kids that are now going to be turning 18 since this are going to be coming forward and testifying. And I wouldn't doubt that a lot of them are going to be really heartbreaking.
These pauses are going to be more permanent for these gender clinics across the country.
Let's get into that verdict, because a jury found a psychologist and a surgeon liable for malpractice after Varian Fox had a double mastectomy at the age of 16. Chloe, what does a verdict like that mean for advocates like you?
Varian's case was the very first success for every single one of these detransitioner lawsuits, and while I think that she deserved a whole lot more than $2 million, it marks a massive change in how the court systems are going to follow this. And it's been very difficult for lawyers across the country to advocate for these detransition patients who are trying to hold their doctors accountable, because there has been no precedent. There is no case that these attorneys can look to. So it bodes very well for my own case and that of the many.
Well, yeah, because like if you're mentally ill as a child and you have a doctor saying that, well, your kid is going to end up self-harming or something crazy like that unless you transition them into a different gender, of course you're going to have a freaking problem with that. Like, or then you've got these mentally ill parents that are literally crazy and all they want to do is do like what, oh my God, what is the name of that one girl that just got out recently whose mom was like trying to keep her sick? Gypsy Rose. Like, of course. That's why, like, you can't have this. Like, if you turn 18, do whatever you want with your body. Do whatever you want with your life. That's your decision. If you ruin your life, great. That's on you. That's your decision. You made that as an American. But whenever you have your peers, talking you into that kind of stuff as a child and trying to get you transitioned as a 13-year-old, like, dude, that's wrong. Come on, how's that even a question? That's just wrong. How's that even? That's not even an argument right there. It's just wrong.
Well, let's talk about your case with Mark. Any update on Chloe's case from a legal perspective?
Yeah, I mean, there's a very significant update. For 3 years, we've been litigating a threshold question of whether Chloe's case is going to go to trial or whether it's going to go to arbitration. And I'm happy to announce today on your program that Chloe's trial date has been set, April 5th, 2027.
A quick question. I'm going to lawyer you here.
I know you showed
The
up.
reason you were thinking it was going to go to
Permaband.
arbitration, was there a clause in
Bye-bye,
her agreement
loser.
that she signed with the doctors or hospitals? Is that the reason that this would potentially go to arbitration?
Kaiser certainly argued that that was the case. I will say this was.
Oh, they
reviewed
absolutely
by
are responsible for this.
State District
Absolutely.
Court and appellate court, and Kaiser even filed motions for reconsideration. So 4 separate times, California courts looked at this question, and out of the over 500 pages of documents that Kaiser submitted to the court, nowhere could any judge find any type of an agreement to move this case into arbitration.
That is huge, not just for Chloe's case, but the fact that we now have a California court, very, very liberal out there in California, setting a precedent that said the arbitration provision more or less is null and void and that you are entitled to a jury trial in these types of cases is tremendous for your movement.
Well, like,
and we will be.
How is it that somebody thinks that a child who hasn't even been through puberty yet knows if they're a man or a woman whenever they haven't even been attracted to the opposite sex yet, or like, you know, the same sex in some instances? Like, how do you know that? You don't. What parent or doctor should even be considering this is crazy. You can't, like, they don't even know what they're attracted to. They're too young. Hey, come on. This isn't. This is not rocket science.
Watching it.
Maybe for some people it is.
Thank you for your
I don't
time.
know.
Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And
crazy.
click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews.
You already saw that. Okay, well, so Stephen Colbert is under fire again. So he did there's an FCC law that I'm not sure how it works. I have a general idea of how it works. So the FCC makes it to where, like, television people, they can only, if you represent a Democratic Party, you have to bring in a representative of a Republican Party and a Democrat Party. And Colbert did an interview with a Democratic official that is running for election, and he ended up doing it and then putting it on YouTube. And they asked him why he put it on YouTube, or he just kind of said it. I don't know, either one. And he said that it was because I think it's ABC or NBC, CBS was like, you know, we can't do this because of X, Y, and Z, and da-da-da-da-da. And then CBS, because he threw CBS under the bus, and CBS responded at saying, that's not what we said. There's an FCC regulation that states that if you do this, you have to do this. We don't not want you to do it, but if you do it, please follow the law, because you might trigger FCC guidelines, right? And it's a shit show.
Made up a bunch of fan fiction. They did. Made up a bunch of fan fiction.
And then, like, Colbert was like, well, why didn't they get in contact with me? And it's like, but you didn't get in contact with them before you threw them under the bus. I miss Stephen Colbert so much. I miss the way he was.
Interview Donald Trump.
I used to watch him all the time whenever I'd be driving back and forth to the fire station in the morning, and whenever I would get off, which would have been in the morning, so.
Want you to see. His FCC refused to air my interview with Stephen Colbert. Trump is worried that we're about to flip Texas.
And it's funny that he's using Trump. This FCC regulation has been around for over 98 years.
So let's watch this. We'll see what
It's
happens.
always Trump's fault. It doesn't matter who's in office. It's always their fault.
James Tallarico.
I don't know how much of this I can actually listen or watch before I start getting copyright.
This is the FCC talking about it.
You had a Democrat candidate who understood the way that the news media works. And he took advantage of all of your sort of prior conceptions to run a hoax, apparently for the purpose of raising money and getting clicks.
And the thing is like, the FCC guidelines are in place for people that are trying to run a specific way, like Stephen Colbert.
Played right into it. I think yesterday was a perfect encapsulation of why the American people have more trust in gas station sushi than they do in the national news media. And this was very plainly an effort ginned up to get clicks and to raise money. And you guys ate it up like slop. And when it was pointed out that the facts were completely different than what the fake news media was running with, nobody did like an about face and did a fact correction.
They doubled down on it. That's the embarrassing part. Is that all these people, even when they're proven wrong with like Renee Good, Alex Peretti, like with so much stuff, they always double down on it. It's just so stupid. It's such a stupid hill to die on.
And moved away. And again, I think this is why the American people simply don't trust the news media anymore.
Yeah, they just make up bullshit. That's the reason why. So basically, he tried to put out a narrative that Donald Trump tried to shut down this interview for whatever reason. And it was so bad, and it's so embarrassingly not true. Even Jasmine Crockett comes out and called them out for this. That's how bad this is.
We did receive information suggesting that the federal government did not shut down this segment. Number one, that is my understanding, that the federal government didn't shut this down, and we will do an official statement once we get another official statement that we anticipate is going to be coming from Paramount. All right, so we will read what they say, and then we'll go from there. It is our understanding that Colbert...
Bro, why they do this shit at an airport? Why they always do this at an airport?
Either Mr. Colbert or CBS decided to make this statement.
Oh, come on.
And this was because of a fear that the FCC may say something to them, and that there may have been advice to just have me on, and then they could clear the issue. It was my understanding that someone somewhere decided we just don't want to do that, and instead we're going to just do it this way.
So basically, even she's coming out saying that this isn't true. And you have all these people. CBS refused to air this Colbert Report with Democrat James Tallarico, who's running for Senate, after being intimidated by Trump's FCC rules. Share it everywhere. This has 86,000 likes. Oh boy. And we'll go back. I'll read a few more of these here. But before I do it, a little neat trick. Federal law since 1932 required broadcast media to give equal time to competing political candidates, but Colbert only wanted the platform.
There you go. 1932.
Tallarico and not the other opponents. So he interviews Tallarico, but releases the video online only. Everyone who sees it thinks that it aired on the show. Colbert doesn't have to give them equal time because he has virtually no TV viewers anyway, and he reaches his maximum audience. Meanwhile, Tallarico falsely claims that he's being censored and gets free publicity 2 weeks out of his primary election, claiming that almost a century of federal law is somehow President Trump's fault. Wow, how about that? So Brian Retard,
there it is.
People just making up some fucking bullshit again. And so Stephen Colbert...
His show's already in the process of being canceled, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the whole political atmosphere. It's because nobody's watching the show. I stopped watching the show whenever I saw and heard that there were bigger problems going on in the world than... So, like, I stopped watching when I realized how hard it was to find a job with as much experience as I have, just trying to get like a normal job. I was like, something is obviously up. This is not the same as it was 5 years ago. Something is going on. And these people never address stuff that's actually affecting Americans. they always want to push down on anybody that's, like, for example, what Trump ran on will affect Americans, like, at home, right? It would affect them at home. Getting all these, getting illegals out. Well, that's going to most likely lower the cost of living. I mean, let's be honest. If an illegal owns a house and you get that illegal, out of the country, well, I mean, then that's a house. It's going to lower the cost of living. You have the emergency rooms being filled up with people who don't have health insurance. Well, guess what? Now the emergency rooms are going to have more beds. I mean, it's obvious. The fact that you even have to sit here and have a conversation about it blows my mind. And it's like they want to shun that because they don't want to get rid of their indentured servants. Of course. Like,
dresses. So CBS actually went out and made a statement about this. Well, let's listen to her talk about it again. Because, so Jasmine Crockett actually came out and said, no, actually, Trump didn't.
The reason why I stopped watching them is because they want to put down the politicians and the presidents or the officials that are trying to run that are actually trying to help the average American. The 99%, not the 1%. And I started noticing that with not just Stephen Colbert. I noticed it with the British one too, John Oliver. I love John Oliver. But whenever Trump got elected and he started deporting illegals and he's talking about some random law, I was like, dude, what are you even talking about, bro?
Do anything wrong. It's not even true.
They name-checked you. I mean, they said this. The show was provided legal guidance that the broadcast could trigger the FCC equal time rule for two other candidates.
That's what CBS
including
said.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
What do you make of that explanation?
And this has been the law for 100 years, since 1932. Okay, well, only 95 years.
We actually received a phone call, and that was a little bit earlier today. And in that call, they explained that they actually told CBS that they could go ahead and move forward with the interview of James Tallarico. They just needed to offer me equal time. I did not get a request from the Colbert Show to go on. As you know, I've been on Colbert.
They're so fucking retarded. They've got you siding with Jasmine Crockett. That's crazy.
That's funny. It's funny.
Bear multiple times, and frankly, if we would have gotten an offer, that would have been great. But we're in the middle of early voting, so I'm kind of focused.
I'm trying to avoid the Stephen Colbert clips because those motherfuckers like to not copy strike, but they like to copyright anything that shows Stephen Colbert at the late night show. I don't want to show that, so we're going to skip over that.
At this moment.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what to believe, that's for sure, but I got that phone
She's
call.
just mad she didn't get her time? No, she's responding to what they said.
She's having to cover backfire. She's having to cover herself for something that she wasn't even involved with. They just asked her to show up.
She's not, no. This isn't her coming out complaining. This is Colbert and this other guy bringing up this, making up a false narrative that then indirectly paints her in a bad light.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't even do anything.
She's having to cover her own ass now.
As I was out talking to voters.
That's it. So there's so many things to talk to you about again, but they called you today, but they decided not to air the interview last night.
Right.
You've been on Colbert a number of times, as you just said. Did you have any issue?
So there it is. And I completely agree. Sorry, I just read it poorly. What happened to her accent? Oh, well, she's not trying to perform, right? That's it. Tallarico gives me Antichrist vibes. I'll watch a little bit of it and see what happens. Colbert is such a fucking slime ball. He fabricated the entire thing. Stop making me defend Jasmine Crockett. That's right, guys. It's actually that bad. And then Stephen Colbert, let me see actually. So CBS comes out because Stephen Colbert makes up this entire narrative. And I guess maybe he thought that, this is him talking about it. Okay, let's watch.
No, let's not watch that. Let's not watch that. I don't want to watch that. I can't watch that. I actually can't watch that. We can't watch this. We can't watch that. Can't watch any of that. We're gonna go to here.
that the broadcast could trigger the FCC equal time rule for the other candidates, including Representative Jasmine Crockett, and presented options.
It's not that I don't want to. We literally can't watch that. They'll like immediately block the screen. So
the equal time for other candidates could be fulfilled. The Late Show's decided not to present the interview through its YouTube channel with on-air promotion on the broadcast rather than potentially providing the equal time options. So that's basically, and then so Stephen Colbert comes back and he responds to this. He addresses the CBS statement, which he says that he was not consulted on. Why the fuck?
Why would CBS, the people that hold your job, consult you about them trying to cover their own asses? You're the one that started with the statement. You didn't consult them before you made the statement on a live broadcast.
Would they consult you on this? Like, you just made up a bunch of bullshit about them. Like, he says, I'm just so surprised that this giant global corporation would not stand up to these bullies.
But it's been a law since 1990. Like I said, everything falls apart when you realize that it's because it doesn't fit their narrative. That's all it is. That's all it ever is. And the minute that you start picking and prodding and poking holes in it, the bitch just falls apart.
For the lawyers to release this without talking to me is really surprising. Didn't you just release this without talking to them? You just threw them under the bus, and now you're surprised that they're saying, well, that's not what happened. Like, so
honestly, Trump should just sue him for being stupid at this point. Misinformation.
About them, and then you act like you're the victim whenever they correct the lie. This is the craziest thing.
Yeah, bro literally pulled out the Uno reverse victim card and thought that it would work.
It's even real. You probably have one of people watch the old guy. I don't know. Like, let me see. How long is the interview? Let's see how long it is. If it's less than, it's 15 minutes. Okay, we'll watch the interview.
Let's not watch the
AK-47s must be okay because they weren't in the Bible. This is the dumbest.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, he's talking about the political views. I think that's just about it for this video.
With what he's saying.
I'm just really sad that Colbert has put himself in this position where he's pretty much done. I mean, that they're just waiting for the show to get, fully canceled out and be done, and that's pretty much it for his light life, We have anything new from Fox? No, not really. No. Hey, here we go. Here we go.
Mel Gibson. This guy had a crazy crash out. And it turns out that he was right about a few things, huh? He was right about maybe more than a few things, as a matter of fact. I find that to be interesting. That's crazy. Wow, what are the odds of that?
Mel Gibson's been trying to warn everyone about the elites for years. Yep. And in particular,
so
Hollywood.
The base video was uploaded by Moonreel. Go check out Moonreel. I'll have a link to that down in the description of the video whenever I publish it. Go check out Moonreel. It's Asman. So if you don't know who Asman is, just,
Believe me, I did a lot of research on it. And according to all the research, it was way worse than that.
No matter how strong you are going to be affected by this plague. And you'll resent it for a little while, then you have to let it go. Otherwise, you'll eat yourself alive here. And I think it takes that kind of cockroach resilience to...
Oh, man, you called his name. He said his name 3 times, and he appeared. It's the Roach King.
Survive in this town.
Yes, nobody.
Look at the cockroaches in chat.
To be a crazy man, but today people are finally waking up to what he saw.
It turns out all he got wrong was the city. Yeah, so he was just telling the truth. Yep.
20 years ago, and the message he gave us would eventually cost him his life.
You need a bat in the side of the head. You get by a pack of it'll be your fault.
Oh my God.
Back in the 1980s, Gibson was so successful, he was operating at a level where studios would greenlight whatever he wanted. In 1996, Braveheart swept the Oscars, 5 wins, including Best Picture. And
I think Mel Gibson's career is a prime example of See, this is going to lean into the Epstein stuff. There's a reason why we're watching this. This is going to lean heavily into the Epstein stuff. Mel Gibson is a good representation of these game developers. Just shut up and do your job. Don't bring politics in it. If you see something sketch, report it to the police and leave it at that.
Director. Gibson stood on that stage and called himself a fiscal imbecile.
And they had no problem with giving the reins to a fiscal imbecile. You know, this takes real courage.
And everyone laughed because he made them all very rich. But if you were paying attention around then, there were signs he saw Hollywood very differently than most people who'd made it to his level. In 1998, Playboy did an interview.
1998.
And buried in all the usual promotional stuff about whatever film he was selling, he said something that did raise some eyebrows.
Okay.
He talked about a producer, but he wouldn't name him, whose entire philosophy about women on film was this.
He says, women on film? Either naked or dead. Both is better.
Then he kept on going.
You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town.
Man.
About the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be.
There's no way.
A whole place can't be like, you know, Weird Town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track.
Everyone has that gut feeling, but nobody ever wants to speak on it anymore.
There's a lot of this stuff.
They ask him about the social contract in Hollywood, and Gibson explains.
You can't get mad. You can't let it get you. Because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken, that you are going to be f***ed over at some point.
That's right.
By people who you may have done something nice for.
He also tells a surreal story about meeting Christopher Walken on a New York rooftop, which he's obviously dramatizing, but if you don't take it at face value, it does tell you something about the almost otherworldly nature of Hollywood from the outsider's perspective.
No, he came to see me on a rooftop in New York. I said, hey, can I talk to you? And he said, sure. He floated in. Sideways through a crowd of people. He was wearing black, and it was like one of those old vampire movies where they don't walk but they glide. And he was a dancer, you know, so he has very you know, graceful. And my assistant was there, and he left because he couldn't stand it anymore. The air had turned cold.
This was when Gibson was in the spotlight 24/7, and he was already letting on about some of the industry's practices. He was trying to articulate something that had remained unspoken. His reputation was very much a lovable rogue or a loose cannon, so nobody really paid attention at the time. He was also making everyone way too rich for them to bother with what he was saying in magazine interviews.
No, people might not remember, like, this guy was like, any movie that he was in, everybody went to see it. Like, he was like the biggest movie star. Like, I remember whenever The Patriot came out, Braveheart, like, holy fuck. Everybody was Signs. No, not Signs. Was it Signs? Yeah, I think it was Signs. Like, yeah, megastar. He was the biggest guy.
But maybe he could see it
Lethal
more clearly
Weapon. I forgot
because
about
he
that.
wasn't made.
Bro went into filmmaking and popped off.
Most people at his level were. He wasn't some Nepo or Hollywood adjacent. His family moved from New York to Australia when he was just 12 after his dad won a workplace injury settlement. He had no connections and no industry parents carefully managing his rise.
See, that's right, bro. Like, this guy just made it out the mud. Actually, literally, because it's Australia.
Studied acting because his sister filled out the application without telling him. Then Mad Max turned him into a global star before he even learned how the system truly functioned. Mad Max came in clutch, and it happened in the most Mel Gibson way ever. He'd been in a bar fight the day before the interview he didn't even want to go to, and his...
That's crazy.
Fucking legend.
That's crazy.
Absolute fucking legend.
Face was all bruised and swollen. He looked like the perfect post-apocalyptic tough guy, and not long after, he got the job. Mad Max absolutely smashed the box office, and he became a star. Relocating to Hollywood was just the next logical step. So the peculiar thing here is that by the time he showed up in LA for the film Lethal Weapon, he was already famous.
I mean, like, because it wasn't even Mad Max at the beginning, it was The Road Warrior. And then after that, it was Mad Max. And then I think after that was Thunderdome. I think that's what. There might have been another one, but I'm not sure. Because Ojo just copied Fist of the North Star and Fist.
His drinking to the access requires submission. Gibson missed that entire education, but he did.
Look
to
who it
Gibson's
is.
level learned early that you treat the industry like a religion. You never forget that access requires submission. Gibson missed that entire education, but he did have some very real personal problems that began to unravel. His drinking is getting worse, his marriage is falling apart, his behavior is bordering
Oh, damn. Thanks for the $10, man. Thanks for the $10. Delivering into the darkness of reality will eventually lead to the infinite madness the world chose to ignore, and now it's in the open, and we are within the chaos that has always been. That's right. That's right. They've kept it under the wraps for so long.
Around him. He
And
also
then it blew
began making
wide
a name for
open.
himself as a homophobe and anti-Semite after a series of drunk conversations.
And now we're all living in it.
Do stuff, bro.
Then he
Like,
decides he's going to make a movie that's basically designed to detonate every relationship he has in Hollywood. I'm of course talking about The Passion of the Christ.
Think about the fact that The Passion of the Christ was the movie that people wanted to cut ties with him for. Making a movie about Jesus. That's crazy, right? Can you believe that? And
Well, if you really think about it, like, the narrative has always been behind closed doors, but ever since it spilled over into the internet, and you've got all these radicals running around threatening people, they have forced people to come together in silence. And that's how Trump ended up winning. It's like you can't change people's mind by threatening them. You can only silence them until somebody else who thinks the same thing and says the same thing speaks up, and then the silent talk, the one that's staying silent who said the same thing is going to notice that and be like, yo, come over here. And then you've eventually, with enough people, you see how that one person is just them, and you've got a group of people, and then one day you're the only one there, and everyone else is left.
I've told this before. My mom probably took me to 3 movies in my life.
The Anti-Defamation League, an American charity targeting anti-Semites, gets hold of an early script and immediately starts raising the alarm.
What better way, if you're a minority, to get people in line than to have them do something like outlandish that they would never do with like a minor, for example, and then use that to blackmail them? Like, what better way to make sure that people stay in line and do what you want?
Passion relies on the theme of anti-Semitism. Man, that's crazy.
Director of the Anti-Defamation League said, quote, "By all appearances, Mr. Gibson has moved ahead with his plans to base his film based on the traditional passion play narrative that blames Jews for the killing of Jesus. For those who..."
But isn't that what happened? Isn't that what the Bible says? I mean, I'm fairly certain the Bible says that.
We'll see this film, the poisonous accusation that the Jews were responsible for the killing of Jesus will be unambiguous.
I mean, like, if they lived back then in that culture, then, and that's where he was born, then that's what would have happened. But it doesn't. What?
And clear. Gibson's already got baggage here. His father was a Holocaust denier, and when pressured, he said that my dad taught me my faith and I believe what he taught me. The man never lied to me in his life. So the criticism starts building. New York Times critic Frank Rich questions whether the film could fuel anti-Semitism. Gibson's response:
"Oh yeah, people went so hard as fuck against this. Like, I remember this movie was so controversial. It was more controversial than Cuties. And I want y'all to think about that. So Cuties was it was a Netflix like movie that basically had like a bunch of young girls sexualizing themselves, and it was weird, right?
I don't even want to hear more about that.
For a refund. Their version of Gibson is completely unhinged, a masochistic lunatic running around shooting guns and literally defecating on people. Gibson's response at the time was defiance. He self-finances the entire production.
Paid for the entire fucking thing, $30 million of his own money, and this was in like the
early
2000s. So like the equivalent of this is like $100 million. Like he went so hard on this, it was crazy.
Mortgaging property, coming up with $45 million.
Oh, 45!
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Out of his own pocket. If this bombs, he's then personally destroyed. So the film opens on Ash Wednesday, 2004.
Damn. That's crazy.
Man.
Bro knew what was up. He knew what he was doing.
Man, I remember that's crazy. I think back on that. Yeah.
Wanting to see it. There are massive protests outside theaters, but also massive lines of people wanting to see it. It then goes on to gross $83 million in its opening weekend, and goes on
in one weekend, bro.
$612 million worldwide.
Oh, God damn. Oh,
there's a lot of
fuck. Oh my God, he took that 30 mil. It was technically 40 when he was done. He like almost 10x'd that shit, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The highest
Today's Ash Wednesday today. Wait, is it really? I didn't even know that. As I said, I put it down. It made them mad. It's the fact that they all went against him. This guy went all in, literal leap of faith. $45 million of his own money in 2003.
Bro, he grossed $475 million from that. That is just insanity.
I think it's 2004.
God.
He did all of this, and then he made $400 million.
Damn, thanks for the 10, bro. I remember watching this in the Veneer Cinema in Brome, Australia. Really? Did they have any protesters in Brome? Or was that just an American thing? I've actually never seen The Passion of the Christ. I need to watch that movie. It's kind of crazy that I've never seen that movie.
That's what really made them mad. That's what pissed them off.
Was it really yesterday? Ash Wednesday was really yesterday? Bro, no shot. Really?
So from the industry's perspective, he has now made...
Because it shows a crack in the matrix. It shows a crack in the fabric of the illusion that's created.
Well, that's what happens when you've got all these people. For example, this is a great way to copy and paste this to what's going on right now in our media. You have all these networks like Fox News. How is it that you have 30 different versions of Fox? You have Fox Live Now, Fox 28, Fox 29, Fox 8, Fox 9. You got MSNBC 9, 10, 11, 12, ABC 7, ABC 6, ABC 12, ABC Night Live. Like, you've got all these damn stations. They're all saying the same shit. We saw it in a video 2 days ago where we were reacting to Decoy, and he lined all these media broadcasters, these legacy media stations, all of them being lined up, having the exact same lines word for word. Why do you need 70 different media broadcasters all saying the exact same thing, if not to push a narrative? You see, what happened is that, this is going to sound crazy. Trump is the Passion of the Christ. When you've got all these people saying bad things about it, and then people go and watch it and realize it's really good, or what they're saying is really good, like Trump, and then the silent majority wins over. That's what's going on here.
At making things that are central.
You can spin it in every way you want, but if the writing is good and it's done the right way, It doesn't matter what anyone says to you.
Christian faith or Catholicism is somehow not possible, not feasible, not financially viable. It just takes all that and rolls it up and smokes it.
Exactly.
And that's the reason why they're fucking mad.
One of the most profitable films in history, even after every major studio rejected it entirely on his own terms. On the Joe Rogan Experience, Gibson talked about how turbulent this was.
That was a crazy movie because it was a great movie.
Yeah, he remembers. He remembers.
Seemed
People
like
were
there
mad.
was resistance to that movie.
There was so much resistance. Like, it was, dude, it was so controversial. People were angry as fuck.
Oh yeah, no, there was
which I thought was very strange. There was like Hollywood resistance to that movie.
Absolutely.
Like people didn't like that you were making it. It seemed like
there was a lot of opposition to it, and I don't know. I think if you ever hit on that subject matter, you're gonna get people going, because
of course.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, whenever you talk about this kind of stuff, whenever you're running for presidential elections, you need to, like, whenever you, even with religion, if, like, for example, the Pope right now is talking about sending over help into Nigeria because they're killing Christians. As a Pope, you would never be like, oh yeah, I've got, your thing is set on peace, but how can you have peace if there are people being hurt? You have to do what people need, not what they want. When you make a movie or a game or run for an election, you need to run on principles of what people need, not what they want. When you, and my fiance fucking hates me for this. She hates my guts. Whenever she asks me a question and she tells, and I have to answer it, I just say the first thing that comes to my mind. And then, she's got her rebuttal. And then I say, well, it's because I love you, and I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I'm sorry, but that's genuinely what I think, It sucks. No one wants that person in their life, but you need that person in your life. Everyone needs a person like that in their life. Usually it's a parent or, a grandparent. But unfortunately, we don't really have a lot of those nowadays that want to do their fucking, that actually want a parent. But
Oh, God. Bro. You really had
Expedition 33 and Stellar Blade are a great example of that. Itch Bant. Hello.
Well. Oh my God.
Itchy Band Lawless.
it's big subject matter.
He even
Big
said how Hollywood was
matter.
stunned by him walking around the system and scoring a massive hit without going through the usual.
Hey, you know what's crazy? All they did was follow the source material. All they did was follow, like the Witcher series would be amazing if all they did was follow the source material. Just follow what the source material says. Jesus Christ, there's a reason why the source material is as the reason why the book is considered a bestseller is because the source material is great. Why would you veer off from that? That's stupid. It's dumb.
And there was this kind of thing in town.
Someone in chat called him Goydemort.
The town, they said, did anyone just see that? Anyone just see what that guy did? Can't let that guy do that again. You know, because it sort of walked around the entire system.
It was a well-received podcast because Gibson, for all his woes, came across as more down-to-earth than your average massive star. Comments observed that he was holding back on topics that people wouldn't be prepared to hear about.
And that's the crazy thing, is that after this recent Epstein files drop, and after they brought out all the files, I think people owe this guy an apology. I think they do. They gotta say, listen, man, maybe you were right about some of these things. That's crazy. Wow, what are the odds of that?
Passion ultimately took its toll on Gibson, and 2 years later, everything fell apart. In 2006, he got pulled over drunk in Malibu, and during the arrest, he goes on this anti-Semitic rant to the
I remember very clearly, like, it's funny, I think about this. I remember very clearly my dad and I were talking about this while we were driving to Wendy's.
which leaked. Gibson then apologized and admits he's an alcoholic, calling his behavior despicable. He pleaded no contest to misdemeanor DUI, received 3 years probation, and immediately pushed out carefully worded apologies through his publicist.
Court says the
Why the hell wouldn't you just hire somebody for the night to drive you? Bro, it's not like you don't have the money.
53-year-old Gibson successfully completed terms of his 3-year probation. Gibson was arrested for driving drunk in Malibu in July of 2006, and during the arrest, the actor-director made derogatory comments about Jews and women, tried to escape, and repeatedly threatened the arresting deputy.
While also admitting to being an alcoholic for decades.
Because you're dealing with a sort of a malady of the soul, an obsession of the mind.
Well, look, think of it this way. What if Mel Gibson knew what was going on behind the scenes, but he couldn't say anything, and he needed to get that stuff off his shoulders, so he led to the drink instead? Like, if you know something like that's going on, but you're so like you're in a position where you know that if you say something, your entire life, or for that, like, you know, they could probably kill you. I mean, let's be honest here, they'll probably kill him. Like, there's a lot of rich and powerful people that ran Hollywood for decades, and they probably still are running Hollywood. But now that the stipulation is out that nobody wants to be involved with Hollywood anymore, and then that with the invention of YouTube, what's the point of having to go to college to become an actor if all you got to do is turn on a camera and start streaming? Like,
physical allergy. And some people need a big tap on the shoulder. In my case, public humiliation on a global scale seems to be what was required.
But it was all just damage limitation, and the industry's response is instant and total. To everyone who criticized his views, this DUI and his unsavory run
Total fucking
was just the smoking gun. Apocalypto, a film he directed and one of his best, was already in post-production, and its release was pushed back to avoid
I think Apocalypto was weird. I wouldn't say that it was a good movie, but I think that it was weird for sure.
press. But after that, the upper echelons of Hollywood were closing ranks.
Yeah, that was like the last movie he was really doing, and like that was a movie he directed. I remember watching that movie. I watched that movie with
It was freaky,
You know what?
I'll say
it's
that.
Actually, like, damn, I haven't thought about this for a long time. The last movie of it.
Agents the industry publishes an open letter calling for everyone to boycott Gibson. Quote, Hollywood should not do business with Mel Gibson until he demonstrates a real understanding
People in the entertainment industry, whether Jew or Gentile,
of the harm he has caused. Being drunk doesn't make you say things you don't believe. It makes you say things
sometimes it does.
You already believe. If this industry looks the other way,
That's why I don't get drunk.
It's a message that success excuses hate. And then things got worse. In July of 2010, Mel Gibson then found himself at the center of another major scandal when audio recordings surfaced from a phone call with his then partner. In the recordings, Gibson makes an explicitly racist remark suggesting that if she was assaulted, it would be somehow her fault. In the same conversation, a film where he plays a man who discovers that powerful institutions are conspiring to cover up crimes.
Is that right?
He's the lone truth seeker willing to die to expose them.
Remember, guys, whenever a victim in the Epstein files, does themselves in, it's not the fact that they threw themselves off a cliff. It's the 13 shots in the back of the head that did the trick, right?
Intentional or not, it was a perfect mirror into how Gibson saw himself.
That's crazy.
Around that time, accusations of game playing surrounding Gibson's exile from Hollywood began to surface too. When Ari Emanuel published a letter demanding that Gibson would be expelled from Hollywood,
And by the way, remember what I said about the wizard thing?
What does that even do? Like, you get expelled from Hollywood and then what? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, what exactly happens there?
See? It's represented by Ed Lamato at ICM. So Emanuel's taking this principled stand while actually kneecapping a rival's agency's biggest star. In 2009, Lamato moves to William Morris, bringing Gibson with him.
So, I mean, like, if you've got $400 million to just make a movie, Why don't you just buy your own studio and set? Like, why do you need Hollywood? That makes no sense to me.
The agency's merge. Suddenly, Gibson is now Emmanuel's client through that same veteran agent. So does Emmanuel drop him on principle? No. He keeps him quietly on the books and nobody says anything about the contradiction until he was booted from the books again following the episode between him and his wife. While Gibson was slinking around the fringes of Hollywood, in 2007, Robert Downey Jr. stood up for him. And this was when...
Fucking based.
Of course it was Robert Downey Jr.
Crash out, recognize, crash out. So true.
Amen to that, bro.
Yep.
When things began to turn around.
I humbly ask that you join me unless you are completely without sin, in which case you picked the wrong industry. And forgiving...
Well, like, that's what happens whenever you are a star, dude. Everything you do, good or bad, is plastered on the internet for everyone to see. Like, how can you possibly expect somebody to be a perfect... He's a human being. For fuck's sake, he's just a person. He's not a robot. He makes mistakes. It happens.
My friend his trespasses, offering him the same clean slate you have me, and allowing him to continue his great and ongoing contribution to our collective art without shame.
Jodie Foster and Whoopi Goldberg also publicly defended him. Whoopi said that he spent many days with her kids.
She used to be cool. I don't know what the hell happened. She used to be so cool. Like, I've probably seen like 15 movies with Whoopi Goldberg. Like, I don't know what happened.
Yo, she was everywhere at one point.
And that he categorically wasn't racist.
But I know Mel, and I know he's not a racist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. But I can't sit and say that he's a racist, having spent time with him in my house with my kids. I can't say it.
He was going through intense therapy at the time and seemed very keen to rehabilitate himself and his public image. But Robert Downey Jr.'s point hits on an extremely important point about the industry, bringing us right back to Gibson's own comments from 1998, involving the producer who wanted women either naked or dead. This is now widely suspected to refer to Harvey Weinstein.
You know what I think is funny? Is it's probably another one.
It was probably a different person. If it was that guy, he would have said it.
It probably actually wasn't Harvey Weinstein. It's probably another guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But what do you think the odds are that he's the only one? Really? Like, what do you think?
We're talking about the big heavy hitters. Think about all the think about all these developers that actually got, they published a good movie, they got filthy rich, and they just left after they had done terrible things to some of the cast and stuff like that. Think about that.
Think about that.
Years before this became public. While the wheels are coming off Gibson's career, Weinstein is operating openly. Allegations followed him for years. People like Tarantino surrounded him. There were whispers at parties, jokes about it at award shows, and shockingly acknowledged behind closed doors, and yet nothing happened. Courtney Love makes a joke about him in 2005.
Yeah, this was
It does make you wonder what they're using to keep these people silent. Is the rest of the Epstein files involve Hollywood, and they've been blackmailing these people for years? Do they threaten these people with, death? Like, how do they keep these people quiet? How do you have so many people that are involved in this, but nobody's speaking out, and the ones that do get so blacklisted and so canceled and censored that you never really hear from them again?
Is he about him asking you to go somewhere or don't go? Yeah, I remember this.
Do you have any advice for a young girl moving to Hollywood?
I'll get live with it. Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party and Four Seasons stuff.
And this joke effectively blacklisted her from Hollywood. Weinstein kept working until 2017, until 80 women...
Didn't they? I heard
87 accusers.
Peter
87.
Made that one orc in the Siege of Minas Tirith. I heard that he made
awful sex with a 13-year-old in 1977.
Not
when
good.
He then fled the country. At the 2003
Not good at all.
Oscars, 26 years later, he wins Best Director and gets a standing ovation.
So he gets a standing ovation after he rapes a 13-year-old?
That's terrible.
And if anything, it gets...
And keep in mind, I'm trying to remember this about Bohemian Rhapsody. That movie didn't Sacha Baron Cohen turn down playing Freddie Mercury because they wanted to play like a PG version of it and not actually the story of Freddie Mercury? Like I'm trying to remember this. This is a long time ago. So that was some bullshit too, huh? Like honestly,
Look,
could be
Victor
wrong.
Salva was convicted in 19.
Ooh, the nasty son of a
lewd
bitch,
and
bro.
Vivacious conduct, oral sex. What?
I gotta kind of skim through
Schneider,
that.
all these guys, which sends
Remember that fat Nickelodeon piece of shit?
very clear.
Oh yeah,
A real, actually,
bro, man.
Employing problematic people is fine as long as they continue
Yeah.
to serve the right ends.
As long as it's not the wrong problems.
This isn't a game of whataboutery. Hollywood is a system where morals are relative. It's not about the severity of what you
Remember, anytime you see a rich person preaching to you about your morals, just think about Hollywood.
It's about how politically expensive it becomes to ignore it. Gibson's anti-Semitism and abuse, especially in an industry full of Jewish people, is unforgivable to many, and Robert Downey Jr.'s plea for mercy doesn't really erase that. But Hollywood didn't exile him because those things are morally worse than drugging and
No, they were trying to
trying to censor
ever
it.
since he did The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
I think that really is what it was. And like before then, he was like
He went against their narrative and he won.
he was kind of like an asshole than ad dude.
insulting people because his
insane.
scandals were loud, public, and impossible to spin. The industry is
Well, I
selective.
mean, honestly, like I feel like it's not even that. I mean, I totally actually I disagree with this. I think that they made it bigger than it was. Because like there's no universe where somebody hating Jews and saying the N-word is worse than like having I don't even like to say having sex with. It's
doing stuff with minors. Yeah.
The boogeyman.
Exactly.
And that selection has nothing to do with who actually did the worst things. Gibson's redemption arc continued
Yeah,
in
they made it that bad. They,
If you haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, I absolutely recommend Hacksaw Ridge. That movie is fucking awesome. I love Hacksaw Ridge. It is so good. And it was based on a true story. Hacksaw Ridge is so fucking good. If you haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, go and watch this movie. It is inspiring.
It's all, like this is all collective.
And the guy that plays Desmond Doss, this actor, bro, they could not have picked a more talented individual to play that actor than him. I mean, to play that character than him. That movie is phenomenal.
Like fucking PR don't work with these actors and work with producers. Like obviously they do. It's all a big club.
That's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Of course. 2016, when he released Hacksaw Ridge, a World War II film about a conscientious objector who saved 75 men without firing a weapon.
Oh,
That's right. They were pinned down on Hacksaw. They were pinned down on Hacksaw, and the guy didn't want to use a gun, and his World War I father had to come in and vouch for him. And he was, and they kept telling him, they were like, and there are interviews after during the credits that of the guys saying that they were so mean to him because they didn't want him watching their back. And then he said he started crying. And he said then to have him turn around and save my life and drag me off that hill, it showed everything about the human spirit, you know? And it's like, he saved 75 people. He dragged them. He was the only one on that ridge, surrounded by enemies, and he pulled 75 people off that ridge. 75. He worked through the night by himself and lowered those people off that ridge. Those soldiers.
The medic, right? Oscar nomination. It was independently financed with no major studios involved, but this time, instead of punishing him, they welcomed him back. Gibson appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He called his past a rough patch, and he said that moment should.
And that's the thing is, I remember whenever Stephen Colbert did this, and I was like, you know, like this is respectable, right? Like this is the problem that I have. This is the reason why like it's been hard for me to like really hate Stephen Colbert. It's because, like, I feel like, you know, looking back on it, like 20 years, last 20 years, I've watched Stephen Colbert now for 20 years. For like 15 of those years, or at least the first 10, I really liked him a lot. I did. I thought he was great. And he did things like this that I thought were positive and good. I don't know what the fuck happened. I really don't. It's just sad, man. It's fucking sad.
Find the rest of my life.
Like you went from.
It's not necessarily the concept. It's the idea that you have all these people, and they beat the hell out of this guy. They beat the shit out of him, dude. They would do towel parties on him. They would like put soap in a towel in the night, and they would beat the fuck out of him, dude. And he saved all their fucking lives. He did. He was facing Leavenworth. He was facing jail time for not picking up a gun. They almost put that boy in jail because he didn't want to pick up a gun, and then the instructors were even telling him, whenever, like, during lineup every morning, they were like, don't ever look at that man and expect him to help you. And then he saved their fucking lives. It's insane.
Doing shit like this and the Colbert Report to dancing around like a little fairy about the COVID vaccine. How the fuck does that happen? Really? How does that happen?
The crowd cheered, others said it wasn't enough. Slowly the roles came back, like Get the Gringo, Fat Man, Bloodfather, and Daddy's Home 2. And Gibson's appearances were generally viewed positively, even if they weren't anything like the massive titles he once starred in. Then, 2023, Gibson's name gets attached to The Sound of Freedom.
Uh-oh.
Film about child trafficking, starred by the same guy who played Jesus in The Passion. Gibson was serving as executive producer and recorded a promotional video warning
I've actually never watched this.
People about child trafficking. Originally, the film was acquired by 20th Century Fox, yet it was shelved after Disney acquired Fox in 2019. It had a budget of just some $15 million, and accusations that Hollywood was trying to blacklist came flooding in when it launched, with some saying that showings at popular cinema chains were cancelled or even sabotaged. The film itself leans heavily into the idea that influential people are involved in trafficking and the problem is just being covered up internationally. Something.
What are the odds of that? There's no way, right? There's no way they could all be in on it.
Gibson has certainly alluded to over the years.
There's no way.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children.
Many scoffed at the notion.
Oh, here it is.
That pedophile rings were being run by rich elites. But as Jeffrey Epstein's operation has come into the light, the flight logs, the witness testimony, connections to world leaders and billionaires, this conspiracy theory has just become a fact the establishment tried to ignore for years. Around the film's release, viral
They didn't try to ignore it. They openly censored it. They openly shunned you if you talk about it. Mel Gibson is a prime example of that. They didn't just ignore it. They went out of their way to make sure that anybody who talked about it didn't have a career. Period.
Spreading about Gibson's conspiratorial view, claiming he exposed elites drinking children's blood, Andrew Combe harvesting, and satanic rituals. QAnon.
There it is.
Yeah? That right? How about that?
Type stories. Every single quote attributed to Gibson is fake. They trace only to YourNewsWire.com, a notorious misinformation site. Maybe it's part of yet another smear campaign designed to muddy
Wait,
Gibson.
so they're trying to make this guy look bad by giving him fake quotes?
Rehabilitation and feed tabloid headlines to keep his reputation questionable.
Fuck out of here.
Or maybe it's a manifestation of him becoming a symbol onto which both sides of the culture war paints their narratives. To some, he's a much-tiered truth teller. To others, a cautionary tale of when mental health issues.
I mean, I think obviously, like, I mean, here's my opinion about Mel Gibson. I like Mel Gibson a lot. He's a fucking, like, I mean, I was born in 1990, right? I mean, like, I remember watching The Patriot on a VHS in my fucking CRT TV with my mom and dad, right? So, like, you're never going to get me to hate Mel Gibson, number one.
That's exactly how I feel about Johnny Depp. Like, that's exactly how I feel about Johnny Depp. Whenever I saw that all that stuff was coming out about Johnny Depp, I was like, the bro used to dress up in costume and go down to the hospitals for free. He used to go to the Disney rides, and he would just be there chilling in the costume whenever people would like go through the Pirates exhibit or whatever. You can't tell me that's a bad person.
You're never going to get me to hate Mel Gibson. You're never going to get me to hate Michael Jackson. You're never going to get me to hate Michael Jordan. You're never going to get me to hate fucking, like, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. But, like, that's a 3 right there. And so, like, Braveheart, yep, same thing, absolutely 100%. So, you know, again, Jackie Chan, yeah, you're not going to get me to hate Jackie Chan. Some weird shit, I don't give a fuck. Jackie Chan's a legend. And so, yeah, anything else? Bruce Willis, yep, definitely. I go on. Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, 100%. I do think, obviously, like, he had a drinking problem, and that was a bad thing, and it was not good. And I think, in a way, it was probably a good thing that he got ostracized, because it's like, you know, and I bet he probably would say this himself.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, he say, oh, God works.
Well, he has said this. He said that it did change him,
right?
So, like,
I mean, if he didn't have that happen, he might not have never like gone after and got help. And he might have fucked up his whole life. He might have gotten put in jail. He might have gotten himself killed. He could have, you know, like maybe, you know, permanently damaged his body. Like, because there are people that have that happen. Does it actually? I don't know if he does or not. But, like, it's a wake call. So, like, it's not like he was perfect, right? But I think also there's another component to this that's worth talking about, which is the fact that, you know, why is it that, you know, maybe he was doing this a lot? Well, if you get put in a position where you have to constantly deal with people that think women should either be naked or dead or both, and
that's what I was saying earlier, is like, if you're put in that kind of position where you can't even talk about it to anybody, which means you can't go to like a psychiatrist, because you know that if you say something you shouldn't be saying and word gets back, then, you know, like, the only thing that he had to turn to was alcohol.
About these like satanic cults and like these weird kids and all this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna fuck your head up.
Yeah, it is.
Really is. It's obviously gonna fuck your head up. So it's like, I don't think that, like, I'm not saying it's not his fault. At the end of the day, it's still his fault. But I think that probably being around that fucks you up too. It does.
Oh yeah, like a lot of the lawyers that were reading through the original investigations of the Epstein files quit. They quit. They had read some nasty shit that made them quit. Let that sink in. They quit their fucking jobs because they couldn't do it anymore.
Anger take hold of someone. Either way, the fake quotes spread because they sound like what people already believe about him. That was South Park's parody too. They were saying Gibson made this very public monster out of himself. In reality, the truth behind Gibson's criticism...
I mean, if he made the monster out of himself, then why is it that those other people that were having, you know, raping underage girls, why did they not? It's because you made it happen. You pull the strings and then you say that it's his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Of the establishment is probably more of a case of something simpler yet no less horrifying. The banality of evil. Thousands of people making small, cowardly decisions that add up to systemic abuse. Which is far more disturbing because...
That's what happens with the government, by the way. Like fraud and shit like that, that's the banality of evil. It's like 50 people with malicious compliance.
It's 50 people that have more wealth than the entire world combined making decisions.
Implicates everyone through their daily choices in supporting and protecting the industry. Unlike blood-drinking rituals, everyone is capable given the right incentives. When asked at the Hacksaw Ridge press conference to describe Hollywood in one word, Gibson laughed. Just one word? Then he gave his answer, survival. He's right. Everyone's trying to survive, and survival means making calculations about who you can cross and who you can't. But Hollywood's evil operates on a different level altogether. It's not the deranged actions of a troubled man. It's structural, institutional. It's the sober, calculated
It's everything.
It's also like, I mean, ever since Harvey Weinstein happened, I feel like the amount that people want to hear about actors talking about politics or whatever the fuck else, I feel like it went down by a lot. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I mean, because if you can't, like, I don't want to hear about.
Well, the example. I've got a better example of whatever he's about to give. So, there are allegations that certain footwear production companies have suicide nets around their buildings in China, or wherever they're getting these shoes manufactured, because people aren't allowed to leave and they're being worked to death, and they try to end their lives by jumping out the window, and then they get caught by the suicide net. And you want to talk to me about my morals? Go fuck yourself. No.
Whenever you turned a blind eye to this stuff happening, right? I don't want to hear about it. Like, not, you know, it's like, it's an example, like, even best case scenario, right message, wrong messenger. Nope, not from you.
Protect people for decades. So in the end, there are no heroes in the story, just different flavors of the same human capacity to harm people and justify it in the morning.
No, I totally agree.
Yo, W video.
This is a great video. Like, I'm glad to see people, like, I really think that, honestly...
Seriously, W video. That was a great video. XQC got mentioned in a police chase.
Eight 221. 818.
You know, no one's expecting this. I mean, you've got, you know, the lights and sirens, I'm sure, out there is probably the only fair warning that anyone has, but we have seen speeds increase a little bit. I saw that the suspect briefly get up to about 50 miles an hour earlier on Rosecrans as well. So
the police
the suspect's getting,
just
even more
shoot
desperate.
the tires?
Like just taking more and more chances as traffic just
oh my god
at these busy intersections here as rush hour is, you know, really in full swing.
Yep, dude.
Oh, right. I mean, if that solves all the problems in the world, why don't they just shoot the tires, right? Duh.
These last-minute turns, basically, that even makes a spike strip even less of a.
Please click the link to sign up so we can get back to you.
Right. Not only that, but you need a decent stretch of fairly empty road. Not empty necessarily, but
is he gonna leave my
when you
number?
get so much traffic as we get wrong side of the road here, coming through that red light. 39.
Okay. Somebody that signed up, just text me.
I want
just
to
add field at the end of the XQC in parentheses.
Thanks, Vin. Not anything that's, you know, crazy high speeds, crazy.
Whoa.
That car just.
I didn't see. I just said whoa because it said it.
Yeah, I mean it is. That's why this is still very, very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
That was scary.
Yeah.
And continue right now at West El
Yo, it's a slow
Segundo
chase,
and
but this
South
is like a
Denver
slow
Avenue.
burn.
Again, still
Like,
staying in the Inglewood area. This is a possible shooting suspect.
Like this,
the LAPD has had their eyes on for quite a bit. In fact, we came on the air
crescendo
early here to bring this breaking news to you.
Just continuing right in this same neighborhood. Now, okay, I want to address, we've gotten a lot of questions about why aren't they using certain tactics, why aren't they using this still text to desk. I want to show you this one, and we actually, there's a Twitch streamer that is watching us and streaming our feed right now. His name is XQC.
Oh!
And one of the questions that he is telling viewers to text me and ask, which I've gotten a lot of this, why don't the police shoot the tires? Again, that's
it's only in movies.
It's a very common thing that people ask during chases. It's just not something you're going to see.
You're not gonna. That's funny. Hey, that's a reference, by the way, to Renee Good. It's just he was just being funny.
Tell you, in very, very rare circumstances, only in the Inland Empire, and only once since I've been here, we did one time see the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department shoot out of a helicopter at the suspect.
I remember that.
What? Really? I didn't think they were allowed to do that.
Wild. I've not seen them do that again. I've seen them give clearance to do it again, but they haven't done it since. But that's just not something you're going to see. It's way too dangerous.
Bro, they're not fucking around. What if that was more naturalized? Like, you go on a high-speed chase and they can't get you, so they just snipe your ass? Like, what if that was more common? You think there'd be as many people trying to run like this?
The car is moving. The officers are moving.
Okay, good answer. I like that. Good answer.
It could ricochet. It could hit somebody on the side. It's just very impractical to be able to do that, especially why this is moving. Another question somebody asked is why don't they block the streets? Why don't you put a bunch of cop cars in front of the guy? Again, that's an officer safety risk. It's a public safety risk. If that guy decides he wants to blow through the cop cars and slam into them, that's something else they're not going to do. So
that's crazy, man. That's what's up. The hell is this?
It was Iowa State. The body cam was wild. It actually looked like a scene from Weapons. All right,
What
did I just walk into?
What the fuck is that? Hold on.
Police and firefighters responded to the Alpha Delta Phi fraternity house after
this is a university.
Fire alarm went off.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so I guess I'll...
Pretty good, how are you?
Hey, Cody. Hey, pardon me, Cody, we're going downstairs?
Hey, guys. What's going on here?
Oh, the firefighters were the first ones to see it.
What the fuck is this?
What's going on?
While downstairs checking the fire alarm, officers stumble upon a fraternity hazing situation.
Sam Hell's. Yeah, I'll definitely need one.
What in the Sam hell?
All right, who's in charge?
That'd be Cody.
I want to see what's in the room. Show me what's in the room.
A bit of hazing.
Hazing? Why are they hazing?
We can talk upstairs. No, we're gonna talk right here. Who's in charge?
that cop's not dealing with any bullshit, bro.
A couple of us are. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, well, we need to find someone who's in charge because this is ridiculous. Hey,
What the
this stops here,
fuck
guys.
is that? What
is
the
a police
fuck?
department. This.
Oh, wait, so they weren't shirtless initially. Whoa, what? Were they making mud pies and having a food fight?
Oh, they were having food thrown at them. They were throwing food at them.
So they weren't shirtless initially. What did they take the shirts off after the officers like went upstairs? When did that happen? Oh. That's interesting. They're covered in blood? Where?
That's not blood,
Oh,
man.
I guess like here, maybe.
That's got to be ketchup. There's mustard.
Stops here. Who's in charge? They're upstairs.
Who said that?
How about we stop?
You're excommunicado.
Everyone take their blindfolds.
What frat is this? Alpha Delta Phi. You're out of here, bud. Someone tell Cody.
Off.
How are kids able to run these buildings like that? That's kind of crazy.
I've already given multiple.
Bro, that's commitment though. Like they're not moving. They're not moving.
Clear the room and get out of here, but no one's moving.
I will tell you something. That's commitment. There is a chance. I'm really reaching, but imagine. I just keep calling everyone here Cody, but imagine like whoever's in charge here said like knew that with the fire alarm going off and everything that police would arrive, and he told all of the
He told them all not to move, and if they did, they would get kicked. I kind of wonder if they did that on purpose, like this is the end of their hazing period.
All the freshmen here, there's going to be cops coming. They're not real cops. If you break, you're out. What do you think the odds are of that? I feel like there's a good chance, right? Like they're testing
I don't even
you.
think they told them that. I think they told them don't move no matter what. And then they triggered the fire alarm to get the people out that moved.
Cosplay police. Yeah, like you know how like bachelorette parties order the
That's like terrifying. Just imagine you're at that campus and you're like maintenance and you stumble upon that. Dude, that shit would be terrifying.
Dressed as a police officer. Maybe it's one of those things. I say that, and I don't know if that actually happens in the real world or just in movies. I don't know how often you order a police stripper man, but it's probably possible.
You know, all things considered, this really isn't that bad. Like, compared to what it could be, like, at least it's not Hollywood-style sick shit. It's not, like, that crazy.
Apparently they're taking us pretty serious. Yeah, I guess. You in charge?
You said.
Still haven't found out who's in charge?
No one asked for house, Dad.
Where's he at?
Summit. Working at Summit.
Summit, that's cool.
So, you have
obviously,
someone else
yeah,
coming here?
lieutenant's coming.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Definitely figured out why you wouldn't let me pass you initially.
Questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one of those things. We've been there a million times.
Calling your house dad or whoever.
Hey, no way in hell my ass would be going down there and doing that weird shit. Not for, like, hell no. Not for a bunch of freaking college people. Fuck no. That's weird, bro.
To get him here, since ultimately he's probably in charge, right? Unless someone else is
I
in
love how
charge.
this is what we're doing in college instead of, like, working.
A lot of project yeah. Which Russia is that? Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys know how the fire alarm guy set off? Or is it just from? It's manual.
Voice from like screaming all day.
I don't think it was down here. It's upstairs.
How much you want to make a bet he's the one that's running the show? That's why his voice is gonzo. How much you want to bet?
No.
I'm as confused as you guys. Who are what?
It's not that dumb. It's fine. But I'm not in charge. Literally,
I mean, there's not really a crime being committed down here. Like, if the fire department determines the alarm is fine and everyone in there is consenting to this, and they're of the age to consent to whatever the fuck weird shit they're doing in there, there's not really much the police can do. That's the issue here, is like, even if the police think that this is weird and that they want people to leave, if they go up and ask all those students, or like they just do a general, are you consenting to this? And they ask if anybody's under the age, and nobody's under the age and everyone's consenting to this, there's not really much that the police can do. Like, if we're being completely honest here.
I mean, we asked you about your house dad, and you said, I don't have his order. Like,
How do you not? He's your house dad. How do you not have his number? Okay, and what are you doing here?
House dad? The house dad?
He's a live-in. He lives upstairs.
Oh, so you do live here?
Yeah.
Well, your buddy here is saying different.
No, they said the same thing. They said the same thing.
Who's in charge of the house?
Our house dad's at Summit.
Okay, we need him now.
He's at Summit.
Okay, can we get in contact with him?
I don't know.
Here's the deal. From what I'm being told, this is.
I don't know what Summit is. Does that mean he's like off the grid or something? What's Summit? Unreachable.
This is like shutting down chapter type stuff. I need to start talking now.
It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's fine. I need to talk to people.
You call Summit.
Can I call Summit?
Yep.
I'm not calling Summit.
I have no contact with Summit.
Who is Summit?
What is going on here?
Jesus, like the elusive man. I'll be honest. What is the situation? He's talking about shut down chapter stuff. Clearly, there's no fire here, and there's a bunch of weird dudes in the basement. But is there like maybe there's something I'm not understanding?
I don't think there's anything that can be done here. Like, I don't understand how the cops are still trying to push this.
Don't know.
How are they still?
Summit. We'll call him.
That is creepy shit, bro. Look at them in the background.
What's his name? Eric. I told you. Why are you asking me?
Because it sounds like you're responsible for the house.
No.
Sounds like you have some idea of what's going on.
Didn't he just say it's his house?
Forthcoming with everything.
Did I mishear him?
House dad, who are you 30 years
Two we're trying to get a hold of.
Okay, go call him. Please.
Stay right there.
Well, stay here.
You guys got IDs on you?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at them.
Yeah, that's what I would be trying to do if I was the cops. I'd be trying to make sure everybody's of the age.
You gotta see it from.
They were gonna fucking huddle on top of each other and.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at them.
That is some creepy shit. Bro, that is creepy.
Brotherhood.
Okay,
yeah.
sweet. We're here for public safety at this point. What's on your arms?
Oh, we're going to the house next door. There's like 7,000 other dudes in that basement, so we're gonna go join them.
Back down here.
We're gonna form like a giant. This could take one man voice. Perhaps not. It'll be.
This is some weird shit, bro. This is crazy looking. Wait, what's going on?
But the university has a
Alleged hazing death of South University. Oh my God. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa.
across the country, students dying from hazing events. I'm not saying it's to that level. I'm not saying any, but the university has a very,
that does happen all the time.
Policy
that is very true.
Hazing. If I can't talk to people, and if people aren't going to cooperate with me, That's their right. They don't have to speak to me. However, that means only my observations are going to go into this report. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to look worse than if people can kind of explain to us what's going on, right? Because then I can at least put your guys' side of the story in it as well. So I guess I want to know what we got going on. Like, you're saying it's a ritual prior to initiation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've pledged.
I guess I'm asking for some cooperation and some coordination with your people here to just tell your people, like, hey, if that's what people need to do, just politely tell us that, right? So I guess I'm looking for you to kind of be a leader here and help us out a little bit and start trying to...
He's not going to say anything because if this blows over and nothing happens and no one gets arrested, the issue is that he's probably going to get kicked.
Keep everybody in line, okay?
Everyone there is thinking for themselves.
Okay, let's go back inside.
I just want to, if we can get that guy out of there, I just want to coordinate some way to make sure that there's no injuries, there's nothing.
Where did
Which guy?
president?
Yeah.
It's
okay.
I just texted him. I said, I told him you gotta leave.
It's your guys' house.
Okay.
However, if the supervisor of the house president says
Eric?
he's not welcome here, then I'm going to escort him off property.
Okay. I think
if he refuses that, then he's going to be arrested.
We'll walk him out. Yep.
Eric or Cody? Who are we
take care
talking
of that
about?
because the longer he stays here, I mean, he's getting close to being arrested.
The next day, police pay a visit to Joseph's apartment after he was very uncooperative the day before.
Cody, yeah.
After 10 minutes of talking, he again proved to be uncooperative and difficult to deal with.
Thanks, man.
So you interjecting yourself into that conversation, what good does that...
They don't need to talk.
Stick around. We're here Monday through Friday live streaming.
Who they need to talk to, though.
I'm just saying, they're my buddies.
He's like the Lorax. He speaks
Same
for the
time,
troops,
8 to
I mean,
11:30ish.
Trying to do them a solid and be the fall guy here, but he's not very good at it. He's actually pretty.
Does anyone
terrible
actually
at
get
it.
arrested here?
Guaranteed wage in college.
University of Fraternity suspended for 4 years, so they did suspend people.
I was basically the.
They should have said something. They should have talked.
I don't think.
So I guess they suspended them. Should have talked, man. Now nobody's part of the membership. Now nobody's getting in. Okay. Wait, what? Hold on. YouTube. Damn, bro. Hold on, let me use the bathroom real quick. Hold on. Actually, how long was that video? I want to watch this one, but this is 39 minutes, dude. There's no way we're going to be able to watch this today, so we'll probably watch this one. Excuse me. Oh, wait. Never mind. I can't watch that one either. Damn it! It's 39 minutes! I don't have 39 minutes. Oh, we'll figure it out. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Okay, we back. Oh, we back. Let's watch this other video, and then we'll find a couple more little ones before we roll up out of here. So apparently this illegal migrant, this is a migrant. I don't think this is an illegal.
Morning, a beloved special ed teacher in Georgia is dead, and an illegal immigrant is charged with vehicular homicide. As police say,
That's sad.
Caused the crash that killed her after running a red light while trying to escape ICE. The horrific death.
See what I say? This could have been Renee Good. What I say? What would happen? See, this is exactly like. I guarantee you they hesitated to shoot him because they didn't want the publicity. I guarantee you. That's exactly what I said. What would have happened if Renee Good was able to drive off after she had tried to hit that federal agent? What'd I say?
Almost 2 years to the day.
What did I say?
Student Lakin Riley was murdered by an illegal immigrant near her university.
But here's what really burns me is you want to talk about morals whenever you got these people trying to hurt people. Like
Georgia campus. Georgia GOP Congressman Buddy Carter represents the area and says we can't wait for another Lakin Riley to spark change. And he joins us now. Congressman, thanks so much for joining the program. What happened here?
Well, this is what happens, Lawrence, when you have 4 years of an open border policy of the Biden-Harris administration that was supported by John Ossoff and the Senate Democrats. This is what happens when you have essentially an extension of the defund the police movement that we have now with the Democrats like John Ossoff who are demonizing ICE and encouraging people.
I mean, they were trying to demonize their own law enforcement, so of course they would demonize federal police.
Not to comply, not to conform to ICE, and to resist ICE. You have the death of an innocent victim here, a beloved teacher at one of the best elementary schools we have in our state. This has disrupted our community and hurt our community so much. This should have never happened. And I would submit to you that this would not have happened if we didn't have Senate Democrats like John Ossoff who are encouraging, again, ICE and demonizing them and encouraging people not to cooperate with them. I would submit to you now that these Democrats, they have Georgians' blood on their hands. First it was Lakin Riley. Now it's Linda Davis.
It's not even just those two people. It's like all these illegals that are here now, like all the crimes that they've committed, all the people that those illegals have hurt. Like it's not just those two people.
Teacher, and as I say, at one of the best elementary schools.
And not all of them are like that, but like for some of them that have hurt people, like. And they're not actually getting any charges because they keep getting let go in fear of them being deported. It's a vicious cycle.
This has got to stop. That's why I'm running for the Senate to replace John Ossoff, because he's more concerned about illegal immigrants and getting them health care benefits and protecting them.
Enjoy your permanent ban off the channel.
But Congressman, it's deeper than
I
that.
love how these people try to say that abiding by the law is bootlicking, bro. Like, you realize that if you didn't have the law and you didn't abide by it, it would be complete chaos. It would be no different than the country that a lot of these people, like, flee from. Hey, how does that even make any sense?
Because I just watch for weeks now of the media in Minnesota, all over GoFundMe accounts talking about that story. Now we have an American citizen who's a special ed teacher, didn't deserve this, and there's virtually no...
Yeah, imagine having this take in the year 2026 whenever the president that ran on immigration won the popular vote and the electoral in 2025, right?
No funding for this family to pick up the pieces at all.
The brain rot is it's astounding to me. It really is.
It is
immeasurable.
Truly a tragedy here, and it shows you just how out of touch, how tone deaf the Democrats are, and John Ossoff is. Well, I haven't.
If you're only watching so that way you can make some weird ass threat or something, it's not gonna work here. Go somewhere else. Go to like Reddit or something. You might have a little bit more success there since the Redditors are mostly on board with whatever you're
anything
saying
from him about this. This is a tragedy. We experienced this with Laken Riley. Now we're experiencing this again with Linda Davis. This should have never happened, and it would not have happened if the Democrats and the far left, like John Ossoff, had not demonized ICE and encouraged people not to comply with them and not to conform to them and not to cooperate with them. That's what we need. We're trying to, ICE agents are doing their
I don't
job.
understand why they don't cut off all federal funding to these states that are doing this. Straight up. They just need to cut all federal funding to these states that are doing this and then pull ICE agents out of there and then wait for them to comply. Straight up. That's what, like, if you don't want to send in the military and treat this the way it is as like an insurrection using the Insurrection Act, then just pull all federal funding from the state, pull all the military, like the National Guard and the ICE agents, the federal agents, and all the federal people out of there, and just wait for them to capitulate. Straight up, starve them, like not like physically, but like starve them of money.
Protect Americans. They're trying to protect Georgians. Yet John Ossoff and the Democrats, they want to protect illegal immigrants. There's a big problem there.
Huge problem.
Go away.
And Americans are losing their lives as a result of it, and it shouldn't happen. Congressman, thanks so much for joining the program. Hopefully your opponent will join Fox and Friends, and maybe he can explain to us why this was okay to happen, to evade ICE. Thank you so much, sir.
I'm Steve Ducey.
Yeah,
I'm Brian
that's
Kilmeade.
the crazy
and
part.
And click here to subscribe.
But you don't see all these big media broadcasters talking about this, do you? No, of course you don't. You never do. You never do, and that's the sad part. That's the sad part about the entire thing. What is this?
Democratic Socialist Mayor Mamdani's new $127 billion budget filled with racial equity, bureaucracy, and six-figure diversity jobs, and he'll pay for it by raising taxes and canceling plans to add thousands of NYPD cops. Our next guest spent more than 3 decades with the NYPD, ultimately becoming one of its top uniformed officers, former NYPD chief of the department, good friend of the show.
Damn, so he got
Chief,
he got into being the mayor or the governor, I'm not sure which one, of New York, and now he's like defunding the police?
Action to him cutting back the number of officers coming in.
Absolutely not surprised. His whole team is not a big fan of the NYPD. I truly don't think he knows anything about public safety. And now you're going to cut back 5,000. We need about 40,000, and we're roughly close to 34,000. So cutting back 5,000, and we're probably going to lose another close to 4,000.
There is not a world in which you live in where getting rid of police officers is a good thing. Why are people running with this?
That's your recipe for disaster.
It is.
Public safety is the key to New York City.
All right, so he says, well, I just don't have the money. But what is he spending it on? Let's take a little jog. $5.6 million for the Office of Racial Equity, $4.6 million Commission on Racial Equity, $835,000 Commission on Gender Equity, $260,000 for Department of...
Bro, what the fuck? So you're literally putting all this money into all this other shit and then cutting back the police?
Of Education.
What the
Chief
hell?
Diversity Officer, $301,000 for 3 FDNY Civilian Chief Diversity Inclusion Officers. There's a title for you. And $118,000 for an FDNY Chief Diversity Inclusion Officers. Is that necessary stuff? You can't cut that back?
Especially in New York? Like, they're doing this to New York? New York. Are we thinking about the same place? We talking about the same place? And you want to get rid of the police?
And a list of things to do when it comes to public safety, absolutely not. Public safety's got to be in the top of your list. So we can't pay for everything. Everything can't be for free. But what you need is cops out in the street. Tell me how all these programs are going to help when you're getting robbed in the middle of the street.
Yeah, and
Tell me how it works.
Yeah, you tell me. Believe me, he's about to find out, sadly. Mondami's progressive agenda includes new budgets items like $750,000 for art and cultural fund, $800,000 for anti-ageism,
What's the point of having an art and cultural fund if you make the art and then you don't arrest the vandals that are destroying it? Like, what? How does this make it? What is this?
For child care vouchers, LGBTQ emergency for $2 million. It goes on and on. And you pointed out his climate change budget. What's he spending on that?
Something like a climate management office for climate justice, millions of dollars tied to that. And let me tell you something else, Brian. So you're telling me, let me get this straight. I live in Staten Island, New York. You're about to raise my taxes.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, bro. They're raising the New Yorkers' taxes on top of doing all of this.
Because you're trying to pigeonhole the governor.
How much?
10%.
They're raising the taxes in New York 10%? Holy shit, that's a lot.
Hold the governor into giving you money, which he already gave you child care money and I think $1.5 billion bailout. So you're going to raise my taxes 10% and you're going to reduce my public safety for my city. That's very appetizing for me to stay in New York City, isn't it? It's very appetizing, great for our friends and family and people like you who go to work in New York City. Terrible recipe.
Yeah, that's why most cops retire in Florida and now Texas. And you're going to be forced to do the same thing. And you'll take your pension there where it's not taxed. So they're basically telling you to go. And
they are. Why, if you... Dude, that is just crazy. Holy shit. And not to mention, if you cut the police officers' wages, no one's going to want to sign up for it. It's going to be just like teaching.
To go.
The hell?
No, but there's no surprise. We spoke about this in November, December. We talked about his homeless policy, which is faulted terribly. We've talked about his DSA people to fund the police, which is already happening. This should be no surprise to anybody. And that, Brian, elections have consequences.
I know.
And here we are.
Yep. All right, Chief. Good to talk to you. I'm Steve.
Yo, that's crazy. Like, I just don't understand why these people want, like, why do all these Democrats run on that? That's such a weird, like, why do you want to defund the police? It doesn't make any sense. It's just such a weird premise to push. The police don't protect the rich people for the most part. They can afford private security. It protects the average Joe. It protects the people that voted this guy in. It's such a weird fucking thing. It's such a weird thing to change. I've never understood defund the police. That's just so stupid. Why wouldn't you fund them more so they can get better training? Wouldn't that make way more sense? I don't know, dude. That's weird. I just don't get that. I don't get that at all. It's just so stupid. All right. Unfortunately, I have run out of time for the stream. We'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same place. If you miss the streams, I always take the videos and cut them up and then upload them to YouTube, and the stream will be up there. So just keep that in mind. I'll be, like I said, back on tomorrow. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to noon. Oh, 7. It's more like 11:30. So, yep, we rolling. Stay safe out there. Stay friendly. Try to, stay away from the crazy people. Try to put a smile on someone's face. You might change their whole day or their whole life. You never know. And I will see you boys tomorrow. Peace.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip, and I don't plan to visit, I'm gonna stay there.